Welcome to Champagne Football Lemonade Banter. This season is brought to you by the Lightweight Athletic Club.
Whatever you're watching us on, please don't forget to like and subscribe.
We talk about that.
Yeah, Keeper got subbed at half time, centre back and left winger. There was 3 changes at half time.
Great foul.
Well, look, at the end of the day, I think that last year was a fair like it's split between Appiah, yourself and Marconi.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, Rockdale had a fucking ridiculously good year, man. Like, fuck.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
There was an aura when you go to games, you know you're going to win. There's a good feeling, like you'd rock up and you just look at your squad and go, man.
That's the thing we've been in, even regardless of the club.
Football
It's sometimes like Nottingham Forest just now in the Prem. You see, when you start getting results, it's like just builds momentum and belief. And sometimes that is, and the flip side when you're losing, no matter how good you are, when you start to lose, it's like, where the fuck is this win come from?
What you were saying before, like after you cop a goal, your head's dropped.
Yeah,
you start
that's
thinking,
right.
man, like here we go again. When you start that thought, here we go again, like it's a problem. Whereas I think with it, like us, we've come back, I think, every game at Rockdale this year. And
Fucking we'll go on to that, but scandalous. Ridiculous. Was that 10 games? Well, 7 games you've been like losing or drawing in the 88th minute.
yeah, every single, like as in every game that we've gone behind, we've equalised at least at some point. Like,
I was talking to Blake on just very quickly on Instagram. And I was like, mate, how do you always end up scoring the fucking head on the last minute? And he's like, I just need to believe I'm that guy. I'm like, fair enough. I'm like, but surely somebody's going. There's that guy who always scores in the last minute. It's the last minute. Somebody fucking mark him.
Put 2 on him or something.
He fucking always scores in the last minute. Mark the gun, man.
set off the springs.
I mean, fair play to him, man, but we'll go into that game, but wild. We'll go into the NPL 1 games. We'll crack on through them, and then we'll go through the leagues as we do. So we'll start with Spirit Marconi. I mean, I could talk a bit about that. Obviously, big game, top 2. I'm still top 2 just now. I don't know how I was talking to Robbie before the game. Did you see any of the highlights of the games at all?
I didn't watch him.
Nah, brilliant. Good preparation for the show, man. And then Marconi scored 2 set pieces. We scored a cracker, a volley, several minutes later. So within 25 minutes, it was 2-1, and the game finished that way. But Marconi are top, undefeated. League table never lies, so fair play to them. But Marconi have just got this way of winning games. Like they looked at the whole game. So people asked me how it went. Like we were pretty poor by our own standards. First 15 minutes we were decent, missed a good chance, and then they scored 2 goals in a 3-minute window. And naturally,
The first one was obviously a prepared set play.
I don't know. I was definitely prepared. It was a good finish because even to be fair, we reacted quite well. It went to Dom. There was a brilliant reaction for the boys. Like 4 bodies went out to it and they threw himself in front of it. But he struck it well. He struck it perfectly right in the corner. Yeah. It's a great finish and it was a well executed free kick. Then the second one, same thing. It's obviously been executed. They've done some blockers. Great delivery for Dom.
Yeah.
And Marconi haven't conceded a lot this year, so you're looking to score 3 goals against a team who don't really concede a lot of goals. So always an uphill battle. But we responded pretty quick within 5 minutes. And then the rest of the game was just funny. I think the rest of the first half, Marconi were comfortable. We didn't threaten them too much, but they didn't threaten us either. And that was fucking nothing really first half. Second half, we started pretty shit as well. On the ball, though, like Marconi sat off. It was bizarre. Like Marconi sat off well deeper, intentionally, not intentionally. I don't know, but it was almost like 2-1, break us down, and then it worked for them because within 10 minutes we tried to build out shit pass from us for one of the boys. Jake True goes through 1-on-1, misses it. And then for the next 25-30 minutes, pretty much all the football was in their half. Again, without creating a ton, other than absolute worldy double save for Hilton.
Yeah.
He makes a great save for Jordan Perez. He's on the deck. Ball bounces up 8-10 yards out to Taki, whose header, well, it's not an empty net because there's some players around him, but he's got a clear header with the goal just there, and Hilton gets up and manages to clear it away. And then the rest of the game, management-wise, Marconi was brilliant. Like 10 minutes to go, just fucking the ball's in play about 30 seconds. It's all just it's intelligent. I mean, teams like that know how to win games. So frustrating from Spirit standpoint because we didn't probably play as well as we have. But I mean, it's always a tough game. And I think it's positive for Spirit in the fact that we're feeling disappointed to lose to Marconi, who are grand final winners, like a stacked team, undefeated as well.
Is that Spirit's first loss?
The first loss, aye. Right, yeah. But I think all the stuff, like a loss is going to come, and we're punching just now. But mainly because of squad depth. Like we're missing Mikey Conestablo, who's like one of our top 3-4 players, and he's losing him against a team like Marconi is difficult. We managed to get past Marconi with Rockdale with a point without him, but him, Taki, and Kubu, the front 3, have been the reason we've been scoring 3 and 4 goals and 2 or 3 goals each week. And since he's been missing, we've only scored we scored 1 against Manly, 1 against Sutherland. not that he's been scoring the goals, just his link-up play, his movement, his walk right off the ball, his reverse press, all that's so useful for us. But I think overall, where we're at in the league, from a Spirit I can only talk from Spirit standpoint, is like we're second top, lost one game, we've beat 3 of the top 6, I think, drew 1, lost 1 against Rockdale and Marconi, 2 last year's winners. I think we've second or third best defensive and attacking record, scored every single game we've played in. So we would have bitten your hand off for that at the start of the season for where we are as a club. So can't grumble too much. The loss was going to come eventually, but I think we would have been disappointed how we played. And I would say to Robbie off air, I think Spirit, as a club, as a team, when we went that little run at the start, we got 5-6 games like top of the league, undefeated, winning games, scoring goals. We started playing a little bit differently, almost to stay top of the league, as opposed to just to play what we were doing properly.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, that was, and it's an easy thing trap to fall into, because you're going like, oh, Spirit's doing well, oh, Australian Championship, all that stuff, and you're going, oh, let's just win the game, as opposed to, well, why were we winning the games? Because we were playing a certain way, and we started going longer more, we started playing a little bit differently. Not terribly, because some games we were still really good, but sometimes a win can wake you up a wee bit. Like, I can bring you back to earth a wee bit and go like, okay, where we are. But again, we're still not a million miles off it. But fair play to Marconi. Like, they've got quality all over the pitch. Great win, undefeated after 10 games. Is there some sort of, it must be a record by undefeated now.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
I'm not sure how much it is, but 10 games, so fair play to them. Like, they'll be happy with 3 points, and like, we didn't threaten them too much. They didn't threaten us too much, but they've done a job on us. And that's what teams that win the league and comes to. So, oh yeah, bastards, my laptop smashed. Okay, we'll go on to the Rockdale game, because obviously you're there, Robbie, so I might as well get that out of the way.
Yeah, we obviously beat United 3-1. It was dominant. I think it was one-way traffic. You know, some people saying, "Oh, you got away with it." Like, they got a jammy goal, 2nd minute, I think.
Did you see how the scoring went at that game at least?
I was there. Yeah.
Oh, you went to it?
Yeah.
That ball's like bobbled over Cyrus's hands, and you know it's a tough one for the keeper. And then standing in front of their fans, like, it takes a lot of balls to come back from that. You know, next ball that rolled back to him, they're all going, oh, and they're sprinting out to press him, and he's just played this real calm pass back out to the back line. I was like, all right, like, Nicky's head's not gone. He'll be good.
Did he have, because the first half, I don't know how accurate
14
stats
shots
were.
to 1.
Was that accurate? Because
Yeah.
I seen it, I was like, fucking hell, that's like, didn't have too much to do.
Well, no, it was a lot of one-way traffic. Again, like, they got some dangerous players, you know. Like,
Did Chabot start, no?
No, he's injured.
Again?
Yeah, I believe so. He wasn't kitted up.
Because
Neither was
Richie and Chabot both came back, then got injured again.
Yeah.
And then Timotheou came off the bench, is that right?
And Tommy off the bench, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like every week in a show I say, oh, and Timotheou and Chabot, but I feel like that's 10 games in.
Yeah,
Not
I mean,
really
as
played.
well, like, they've got a lot of players. Like, it's not just, they're probably the 2 main men, but they've got.
Oh,
still
well,
a
mate,
lot
it's
of
massive though. If
ex-A-League
Rockdale
players and
were
stuff.
missing Danzo and Euro, it'd have a fucking big impact.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
and
sure.
every team could go through, like I just said, Mikey, for us, it's a big impact. So I think.
But big clubs have depth too, right? Like,
They
if
do,
you take
they do, but I think
Danzo, you
sometimes-
put in Blake Rashuda or Chris McStay, and they're still among the best midfielders in the league. Like, you'd hope that.
I
United
agree.
can
I do agree. I
carry that
understand what you're
still.
saying, the depth, but I think sometimes like they've been missing for 10 games.
Yeah.
You can get the depth covers you for a couple of games. But I think for 10 games to be missing
It's a third of the season.
a third of the season,
Yeah.
to like a centre forward and a centre midfielder. And Chabot was arguably their marquee signing. I mean, the main man they've signed. Would it have made a difference? I don't know, but
Well, Tristan had a good game of goals too. To be fair, he had a lot to do. And
Oh,
made
yeah.
a lot of
Bro,
good
that
saves,
save
double
before, is it Blake's goal? Yeah, that save before Blake's goal was insane, bro.
who was that? What was
It's
that?
one of the best saves I've seen live.
was that for the
Was
corner?
it Ali? Yeah, I think it was.
It was for the corner.
Yeah.
Aye, that's right. I seen it in the
yeah,
highlights.
man, like, it was.
Bro,
he
the
was
ball
excellent.
was flying. Like, and
Yeah.
it was behind his body by the time his hand got to it. Like, his hand was behind his body, and the
Yeah.
ball just bounced up for him. But it was insane, bro, how he saved that.
Yeah,
eh?
it was a busy day at the office, and he had a
Yeah.
good game. Kept him in it for a long time. I think Carlos D'Oliveira was decent for them as well.
Bro, he's a footballer.
he's a good player.
Yeah, he's got a bit of
footballer.
drive. He gets the ball and drives with it, you know. And I think that's
They've got quality all over the pitch. There's absolutely. That's why it's so surprising. Like even that game, on like us looking at it in sofa score of what you're looking at 1-0 United, because they've been in a bit of form. They beat Wolves and they started to look a bit better. And I thought, okay, maybe they're starting to turn the screw a little bit. But then when I watched the highlights, I was like, fuck, they got
yeah. If
peppered.
you actually watch the football, I think it was all us. Like, we were going at him and going at him and going at him. It was just it was a matter of when rather than if, I think. And then obviously when it hits 85 plus, you're just going, all right, get Blakey up for a corner, and it comes off the springs again.
Aye, brilliant. Fair play to him, man. Does all
I tipped Sydney United to be one of the best this year.
So
I
there's-
said
so
it
there's a lot
before
of
the
people,
season.
mate.
I said, man, like,
Look at the squad.
the
I mean,
team's flying. Like,
as we were saying off air, George, like if you went 3 or 4, if they went 3 or 4 on the bounce, they could. But we keep saying as well, Like, when is that going to come, that run? Because you can't just keep saying for the whole year, going to run. But they've got the squad to easily go on a 10-game run. Easily.
But I think it's like even what you were saying before about Spirit, like when they're top of the league, like it's also uncharted waters.
Yep.
Like they've never been top of NPL 1. You know what I mean? Your Marconi, your Rockdales, they've experienced that before. Most of those boys have done that year in, year out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like they don't change the way they play. When you play against a Rockdale, when you play against a Marconi, they don't change the way they play.
Yeah.
They stick to what they know. And it works for them.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Oh, look, talking about big clubs, Apia, hitting a bit of form as well. They scored like fucking 7,000 goals in 10 games. Scandalous, man.
And conceded at 5,000.
That's 5-0 against Mount Druitt. Mount Druitt are a bit of a wounded beast after getting beat off the Arncliffe pole benders.
Yeah. Cup set.
That was fair play to Arncliffe. I mean, you probably are aware, but one of the younger boys for Arncliffe passed away. Did you see that?
Oh, shit.
Aye, under 14s, 15s.
Yeah, under 14s, yeah.
Yeah, such a shame, man. So, for what I've seen and what I've heard, it was the community of Arncliffe got together and backed, obviously, done their best to support the family and all the rest of it. But, fuck, man, terrible. I think it was one of those really hot days. I think I don't know if it was a heart issue or I can't say what happened to him, but he passed out, I think, or he collapsed on the pitch.
That's awful.
Horrendous, man. So, that plays a part in terms of
a bit of extra passion.
Bit of buzz, bit of extra passion. I don't know how strong a team Mount Druitt put out, but
I heard it was hostile, like the crowd.
Arncliffe, I think they get a decent week's out, and they've got that little pitch at Arncliffe Oval as well. But
They get around it, but
they've got one of the more supported association sides.
Yeah, bro.
Is that a Lebanese club?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're Lebanese.
That'd be what
I think
I would
11.
say, I think.
Yeah.
Aye.
So,
Aye.
I won't say too much.
but their multiples.
Well, Mount Druitt, when got onto that game, by half time 1-0 Apia, but looked comfortable for Apia. And then second half they just absolutely capitulated. But Apia have been scoring goals for absolute fun, and now they're sitting, I think, third or fourth, like I think maybe tied with Rockdale in points. Or 1 point behind.
I think they're behind us, yeah.
1 point behind. But they're back in the mix again. I think now the top's looking at Marconi, Apia, Blacktown City. Spirit's a wee bit of a wild card in there, but it's tight in there. But Apia, brilliant win. Some great goals. I think massive. Cambiashi playing, is that 10? They've moved him into a 10. Such a difference when he's in there, man. He scores the first goal. I don't know if you've seen you boys haven't seen highlights, but I think it was Jack Stewart's goal. Did you see the pass from fullback through to Jack Stewart? Anyone watch a game? Unbelievable.
I watched the highlights, but I don't remember.
It was Jack Stewart's goal. I don't know who it was on the left side. I couldn't see for the highlights. They've hit a half volley.
Sean Simmons. I know the one you're talking about.
What the fucking pass that was.
Mate, he's got some tech on you, mate.
What a pass. And then Jack Stewart finishes it off.
Did the same thing against us. He put through...
that's right, aye.
Ortiz.
Ortiz,
yeah,
Ortiz.
keeper. Same thing, like just bent it over and around the centre
But that
back.
was a bit easier.
But he looks for those balls, and
He's a good player, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Quality player.
As a fan, watching him play fullback for Apia, he's the most like unsuspecting techie player you'll watch in NPL.
He's so versatile, he plays everywhere.
Yeah, like you rock up and you're looking at him and you're like, oh, like, you know, it's probably just a battler, like panel leader who's just made his way through. Bro, he gets the ball and you're like, holy shit, this guy's a footballer.
And he's been he's done it year in, year out, different positions.
Yeah.
And title winning sides. And
For how many years? He's been there for.
Phenomenal, man. Fair play to him. He's a brilliant player.
Time.
Mount Druitt in a little bit of trouble, not really picking up a lot of results. They've been hard to beat sometimes, but not really getting the points. So we'll see how they go moving forward.
I think they're different at home. Like
Yeah,
when they
always.
play at home, they're a much better unit from what I've watched. I forget his name, the winger. I think he used to be at Central Coast Mariners. Ends in Ola, I want to say.
Yinka. Yeah. He was at Rockdale last year.
Yeah. Like he when I watched them play Marconi out at Mountie, like he was so hard to deal with. Like I think Anton's one of the best defenders in the league, and I was speaking to him after, and he was like, like he's a proper handful. But then you watch them away from home, like
they've
even in the cup.
they've only won 2 games.
Yeah, and you watch them away from home, you're like, holy shit! Like I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, they've got X factor players. It's just about, I guess, making it come together again. Like
It's defensively,
being
man. They've
promoted.
conceded the most goals in the league.
Wow.
How many they conceded?
24.
Oh,
So I mean, it's like in any league in the world, the team who's conceded the most, the best defensive teams tend to be near
they
the
win
top.
the championship. Yeah.
Aye, like there might be the odd one. Like Apia this year's a bit of a bizarre one, but even they've conceded 21 Apia. Do you know what I mean? But on the flip side, they've scored 33.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just madness. But Mount Druitt have only scored 9.
yeah, wow.
Do you know what I mean? So it's both boxes, as you know. That's how football's won and lost. So they probably need to focus on stop fucking conceding before worrying about anything else, because you just need to pick up points. And even if it's there, pick up a point against St George City or Wanderers, who's there thereabouts you. If they're beating you, they're going to start to peel away from you. But it's still tight enough. It's still early doors, and they've got a few good players, like you mentioned. Like Pedrinho's obviously good. Joey Gibbs is there.
Yeah,
they've got some
team
decent
line.
players, so they could pick up points. They just need to get their finger out of their arse sooner rather than later. Another team who have been really good this year. I don't know how many boys you know from them. Obviously, we know Bay, who's there, but St George Saints have been very good this year. But brilliant result for Blacktown, 3-2 against St George Saints, which looked like a cracking game from the highlights as well. Thoughts, Robbie?
Fuck, it looked like a couple of the goals that St George scored, they waltzed through.
And Jaden chipped the keeper, didn't he, or something?
Yeah, but
Casella?
I think Bay slipped him through for the first goal. Was that goal? Yeah, but I just felt like they were playing uncontested, which was a bit un-Blacktownish, to be honest. When we play Blacktown,
Un-Blacktownish?
Yeah, that's a weird word I just invented. But, Blacktown have a style where they're combative and they're so hard to break down. They just pass through them like it was a training drill. But then, of course, Blacktown have like those X-Factor players.
Oh, Danny
Like,
Choi off the bench, man.
oh, and he just
That's fucking
silky
scandalous.
as dinks it in. Mitch Marley's on the end of it. You go, man, how do you combat this when you have attacking options everywhere? You can't like go a double up on him, because then you're just leaving someone else with a heap of space. Jack O'Brien 2 goals again off, like back into the scoring. And
He's
stuff.
moved. I think he's shifted a bit deeper.
Yeah, playing at the 10, and
Aye.
he's making those late runs, which means you're not marked. Like he's got a free header. Like, how do you, banging a free header at this level? You shouldn't really be finding those unless you're a very intelligent player who knows how to find space.
He's just a pest.
Yeah,
He's a pest,
so
mate.
makes a lot of runs.
He's one of those guys like he's loving your team but hate to play
Yeah,
against.
the worst.
He gets his toes on little
Yeah,
things. You
the
think the
worst.
game,
I
the
hate
ball's
it.
gone. He's fucking there.
Yeah.
He's good, and he's also got
Coach him,
quality.
yeah.
So he's kind of like give him half a sniff.
Nah.
And Mitch Malley's been flying this year as well, man. He's got technique coming out of his arse.
Yeah, stupidly good. Stupidly, it's hard to watch him, knowing like I can't anticipate what he's going to do when the ball's in front of him. You think, oh, he's going to do this, and no, he doesn't. Little body
They're
fan.
another team who you can look at the league table, indifferent start,
They
18
with
points,
us. Yeah,
level with Rockdale.
yeah.
It's nuts, man. Like,
Yeah, it's
just-
funny. I'm sure if you asked Crito and Blacktown how are you going this year, they're like, oh, not the best. But you're sitting equal third, sixth off top because their expectation would be through the roof.
Aye, but I mean that's the thing. Everyone's expectations, because Marconi are like, it's hard to even say they're even that far off, because this is probably the first time in a long time some teams went 10 games undefeated, and even just 2 points dropped for Marconi or something like that. Like it's even tighter. I mean, it's a tight league. Can we speak about it every week? It's a very tight league. Okay, well, St George Saints had a good chance. If they'd won that, they'd have went into 5th place, joint 5th with Apia. But still, they look like a very difficult team to play against this year. And then Wolves bounced back from that pumping last week to win 4-0 against Sutherland. Sutherland, another team who started the season had a lot of noise about them, and they've had a few injuries, to be fair. But 4-0 at Wolves, fair play to Wolves, big result for them. And I believe it was 1-0, and then they got a man sent off. The guy gets sent off.
Yeah.
And then they scored
3 with 10.
10 men, aye.
Yeah.
But defending was fucking honking. Wasn't it? Just it was shocker.
It was shocker.
It was shocking,
Shocker.
man. Like, you must be pulling your head out, man.
I felt bad for the last guy. He's had the slip, made the recovery run, tackles like,
ball
that
just
desperation
bounces.
tackle, and the ball just rolls into Lucky's path again. He took the keeper
He was
out.
flying. Lockie Scott was flying, man.
Yeah.
He's on.
Well, I think Wollongong are designed for counter-attacks, the
Aye,
way they're
they-
built.
they're
Lucky's
always
got
like
up top, hold the ball up, quick wingers running off him. Like, if you're, imagine hitting him on the counter, and you know that he's going to hold the ball up.
Like,
If you're
pins
a
2
quick winger,
defenders.
just, see you later. Take off into space.
That was a
Probably worked in their favour.
fair play to Wolves. But they're another team again, like, just
Can't get a read on him. You have no idea what you
not
get.
a clue when you get
It
from
was
him.
the same last year too.
Aye.
It was
Similar
6-0
last
the week before, was it not?
6-0 the last time.
10-goal swing. Like, it's just insane.
That is mad. That's NPL football, innit? You just cannot fucking read
So
what's
don't
happening.
include Wollongong in the tipping at the end of this.
Oh, I don't know.
podcast,
Chaz done that, mate. So other Chaz has put in there.
Sutherland, they started well and they've obviously like dropped off, but they open up their stadium this week, which will be interesting.
Who they? Suther?
Yeah,
Clarks?
Seymour Shore. Yeah, it's full got like 2 bars in it as well.
Yeah.
So as a fan, bro, it's going to be hectic.
Well,
but, yeah.
that's changing room.
To be
Nizic
fair, they have the best canteen going around too.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
just Lucky and stuff. It's cracker. Yeah.
Well, Nizic was talking about it last week. He says it's got like a 24-hour gym.
Yeah.
He said it's like so professional.
Proper
It's brilliant.
facility. The guy who came into the club and like invested in them, like I think it would have been 2 years ago now.
Yep.
Like comes from proper money. And so I got sent from the guys who do the socials, like this is what the stadium's looking like. It's insane. It'll be like, I honestly think everyone will be like, that's the best stadium to go to.
Wow.
But the synthetic there was the worst.
It was
like,
there.
Yeah, it was
the
too
worst.
shallow.
Spartans up there as well.
Yeah.
It was more
Spartans
rubber
up
than
there.
grass.
Yeah, Spartans is up there. That's right. We literally
So is it
can't win at
isn't it
home.
a different grandstand and all that as well?
They've definitely upgraded the grandstand. I'm not sure if it's different.
I saw they were putting construction around the corner.
Yeah.
Like it's been there for ages and it looked like it was.
I'll show you the videos after.
What, on the backside?
To be honest,
you
they
walk
just sent
in
me
at
the
the
videos
entry
of the
on
new
your
bars,
left.
but yeah.
This is unbelievable. What a setup.
Because nowhere else has a bar. Like you buy a beer and you just watch it on the
Manly.
hill.
Manly does, yeah.
Manly's got a great
Oh,
setup.
Manly's hectic. Yeah.
But Rockdale's got a bar, hasn't it?
Yeah, actually we do, yeah.
Aye.
Manly's one's unreal. They got
Manly's
they got the
brilliant.
deck, the
That's the
umbrellas.
best
You actually
setup.
feel like you're at me Manly.
Friday night game.
Sipping
Go
on
for a few
Canadian club
pints,
watching
watch a game.
football.
Yeah, but they play on Friday nights. I wish they played on like a Saturday arvo.
Aye, that'd be good as
Like,
well.
have a proper day out.
Straight to Manly Wharf.
I feel that'd be a great shout, aye. But the Friday night is an advantage for them massively, innit? Because
Yeah.
everyone gets their fucking stress of work and driving there and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Well, Sydney FC Central Coast Mariners 1-0. I mean, big win for Sydney FC because they were getting put into that relegation battle a little bit. Didn't see much of the highlights. I mean, much of the game other than the highlights. So hard to say too much. But they scored late on. And then they got Central Coast got a man sent off. Mutukoya got sent off with 10 minutes to go in the second half. The highlights didn't show either of the fouls, but we know he got sent off. And then Matthias McAllister scored a good goal with 15 minutes to go to give them the win. So good win for Sydney FC. Central Coast Mariners, another side that's in a bit of trouble. 1-1 in 9 matches, only 5 points.
Wow.
Struggle street.
Yeah, battling.
Do you think that's because they play their best youngsters straight into the A-League?
Well, I don't know. Well, for this season, particularly, I don't think they've played a lot at Plume Park.
Yeah.
I think the last 8 games have been away from home for some reason, or 7 games.
Yeah.
It is a factor because I don't think I know one boy in NPL 1 who likes putting up to Plume Park. It's a bastard Sunday,
it's the
whatever
worst.
time it is. So that's an advantage for them, same as Manly on a Friday.
Yeah.
So I do think that's a bit of a factor because you're playing a lot of away games. But aye, youth, mate.
Yeah.
It's difficult, man. It's so difficult. We spoke about it last week. It's difficult. There's like experienced players. I think I've had a few experienced guys in there to guide them a wee bit. You've got young boys who are just full of beans, just running about trying to get A-League contracts, and the good ones get brought up, and then the team's changed a little bit because they're getting brought up to A-League, and like I'm not in the system enough to know how it goes, but it's tough, man.
It's very different to how we grew up. Like, remember back when we were younger, there was
Youth league, wasn't there?
The youth league was in the summer.
Yeah.
So pretty much all your best young players were actually playing NPL and cracking onto first grade. So back then we had like a pretty strong 20s league. And you'd always, a lot of 20s guys could crack first grade and it'd be more competitive because your Matthias McAllisters were playing for Manly, for example, and he'd crack into the Manly first grade squad. And these young boys now, all those best players all go to Wanderers, Mariners, Bulls, Sydney FC, and then it's diluted the 20s comp, I think. And now they're all playing together as opposed to being like a student among older players.
Yeah. So I mean,
they're
we'll
all
have that
they're all
internship
together.
almost.
Well, literally, like that was my situation. Like I was Blacktown City, 20s in first grade, and then in the summer I'm playing Sydney FC Youth League.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? 2 years in a row, and we won the Youth League. So it's like I got the exposure of playing with men, whereas in the Youth League, like you're obviously playing against boys your own age.
And that helps you.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you're playing, training with men.
especially for me as a defender. But
Yeah.
like even the 20s competition back then was like so much more competitive. Like now, even in the NPL space, like the 20s is a joke. Like I watch some games, I'm like, this is like they may as well stop playing. They might as well just go 18s to first grade.
I know it's a fun. We spoke
piss
about it a
take.
few weeks ago. So what that is a question. I think everyone might have a different opinion on it. I don't really have an opinion on it. I just don't think it's the right solution just now because I think there's too many players falling through the cracks or falling out of love with the game or not getting the training at that age that they need because the training isn't great at 20. It's not because the coaches aren't good, but because the numbers aren't really there sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's just a bit disjointed. And
the comp means nothing. It doesn't go to a
I mean, I don't really know, but
championship,
what is
no
it? So
one
what
puts
would
in
the solution
effort.
be? Do you think people have mentioned under 23s league? But there's different things. I don't really know any
I
opinions
think
on
it
it.
should just be 18s into NPL.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're 18 and you haven't cracked it, like some guys kick on when they're 20, 21, you know, you'd lose a lot of good players.
It's hard.
Yeah. I don't mind the 23s idea because some guys at 20 still aren't matured yet. And I think some positions that experience helps you play, like goalkeepers and centre backs. Generally speaking, people don't gamble on young centre backs or young goalkeepers. And if you're 18, you can't get a first grade gig somewhere, you're going to go play park soccer.
I think the
might drop
foundational
off.
thing of any football is make it super competitive again. Like they can argue, yes, there's a league, of course there's a league, but does anyone like of an NPL really like fixated on the 20s comp? Not really, because they're all their eyes are somewhere else. They're trying to get to first grade, they're trying to get somewhere else. There has to be something that's like, no, this is where you are.
Yeah.
This is where I don't know how to do it, but I think it has to be the players need to feel like they're in a proper league to achieve something and win something for the club.
Yeah.
It's like you said, there's no consequence. Like, for example, Spartans this year, if we get promoted into NPL 1, they come with us. They could come dead last.
I know.
So it's like, there's no consequence.
It's hard. It's one of those ones I feel like every time you've got an argument, someone else will say, well, but that's it, and you're like, fuck, I don't know. And solution's tough, and I think whatever solution you come with, I just think just now, definitely isn't the answer. There's too many people in that age group who are too good for, maybe not too good, but good enough to go and play first grade, but they don't get the opportunity to.
Yeah.
Or they have to drop down to like NPL 3 or something to try and get that opportunity, and they never come back up, because once you leave NPL 1, it's very difficult to get back in again. And then you get some of the boys who are 20 who aren't quite good enough for first grade yet, but they don't really develop over those 2 years because the training that's just
Before into that level.
So it's I don't know, it's a tricky one.
One example of one who did get through was Lockie Rose. I remember he was at Blacktown in the 20s back in those days, and I remember him complaining to me saying, I can't fucking crack in, like I can't even get a training session with first grade. And I was like, honestly, Lockie, I don't think your mum would start you over Danny Choi, Mitch Malia, Joey Gibbs, or Travis Major, who were our front four at the time. I'm like, there's
Says mum the gaffer?
Sorry?
Says mum the gaffer?
But I was like, there's no way you should be playing in this team. And I'll tell you that honestly. And he had to go back he went down to Spartans, had a good couple of years, got a trial with Bulls, banged the goal in every friendly game, and got an A-League contract, and now he's an A-Leaguer. So sometimes, again, maybe a 23s comp would be perfect for players like that who couldn't quite crack it. Jack Stewart's another one. He couldn't crack first grade at Blacktown, went to
the championship, is that not
top player?
Effectively what that's trying to solve?
Yeah, I think so, but I still think there's a gap that needs fixing. Like, I look at my situation when I was at Sydney FC. Like, yes, just because I came from Blacktown City playing 20s first grade, I moved to win the youth league. Okay, what's higher than that? What's the next step at Sydney FC? Okay, you go and play A-League, or you train. Like, I was training full time with A-League, but who's in front of me? Petkovic, like back in the day, Sasha Oganovsky, like Matty Yerman.
Best mate, eh, Sasha?
Like, but these guys, like Geordie Boyce, like seasoned veterans, how am I going to get a look in?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you can do what you want. Like, we got
Especially
promoted from
the young
MPL 2. We got promoted from MPL 2 to MPL 1. We've done well in MPL 1. They've stayed in MPL 1 the last few years. But it's like, what's next? What's after that? If you don't get your chance in first grade, what do you have to do? And what did I end up doing? I went back. So I went back to Olympic to take 2 steps forward, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's hard for a lot of these boys because...
But you were able to go back to an NPL 1 side.
That's right.
Just still a good environment.
That's right,
with good players around you who are similar boat to you. Like, go back to play with boys who are ex-professionals or like top NPL 1 players. There's a lot of these 20s players are having to go to like an NPL 2, NPL 3 side, which sometimes are great environments. Like, a lot of clubs have got good setups, but like we said, once you're in that NPL 2, NPL 3, unless you get promoted or you have an outstanding season, it's very difficult to jump ship. Let's just wrap up NPL 1. So we've got Wanderers beat Manly 2-0. Manly, again, very similar to Wollongong Wolves, unpredictable.
Hot and cold.
Like, seem to thump a team, lose. Again, as an academy side, I thought they would have won. They're now sitting 6th, still well amongst it on 15 points in that playoff spot. And they'll be competitive all year, especially with a defensive record. So surprised they conceded 2 goals. And then St George FA looked to get their first win in a while against St Olympic, but Cole scored in the 92nd minute, I think, or 90th minute. Maybe, do you still speak to anyone there, mate?
Where's that?
At Olympic?
Yes or no?
Yes or no? Okay, we don't have to talk. Do you know anyone who saw the game, involved in the game?
I still talk to a few of the young boys like Michael Varkas, obviously Pete Pilatus, he's watching from the stands, but I just think like it's a similar situation, like hot and cold. I don't know, they're like, I feel like they don't really have that experience and youth. Like, it's like you have a few older boys and you just got a ton of young boys, and it's just like, I don't know, I feel like last year when I was there we had arguably one of the best teams on paper, like similar to a Sydney United this year. Like, you've gone off season, you recruited. Like, pre-season last year we had,
he's run him what? He's won that cup.
Insane. We went to Brisbane. We beat South Melbourne. Like, we won the Brisbane thing. Like, we came back straight away. Round 1, we're losing to Hills.
That's right. I remember that game. Was mental.
Round 2, I get
that was a good one.
Round 2, I get sent off in 24 seconds. Then I missed rounds 3 and 4. 24 seconds. That's got to be a record, surely.
What happened there?
For NPL, can't be far off it, eh?
Who was it against?
St George. I killed Presley Ortiz. I killed him. It was just one of those ones. Ball goes over the top. It's like misjudge the bounce. It's like bounce but come back towards him. And I've gone to like put my foot there to like take it to the side, and I've turned my foot, but he's like driven with his knee up and just gone through my studs. And like they've obviously like fucking
Aye.
gone like screaming everything, like Petrados in my face, like fuck off, mate. Like anyway, and then like refs come and just like straight red. Like fuck, I was laughing. I was like, are you serious? Like man, it's 24 seconds. Like give me a yellow. Like tell me like relax a bit. Like anyway,
I can't remember the tackles.
man, they wanted to give me 4 weeks for it. I was like, fuck, that's heavy. Anyway, I missed two rounds and it was just.
That's
like,
one thing I say every week now. See how I absolutely hate the shouts now. So any bit of contact, everyone goes, hey!
Yeah.
Does my fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Any bit of but the same people are going like, the game's too soft now.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's why it's soft, because you want every bit of contact, you want a foul. Does my fucking head in.
To be fair, I'm one of those screamers for
Oh,
sure.
I know what you
because
can, mate.
You
aye.
have to. You
Like
know, I mean,
we-
that's just part of the game. If you don't scream, you don't get the fouls.
yeah.
I
Like
know, but the referees
Gotta
at
make
that
sure you get 'em.
point, the referees need to be stronger, because eventually just don't give it. People are going to stop calling for it. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's any shove, even if it's like a tackle, say like you're one right, you obviously did make contact, but sometimes it's really hard, firm challenges.
Yeah.
If it looks like, oh, there's a big noise, or it looks like there could have been a bit of heavy contact afterwards, but it's still a good tackle, everyone goes off on that.
Yeah.
As if he's broke his leg. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's a strong, firm,
Yeah, yeah,
solid
yeah.
challenge. Like, get fucking up.
Yeah.
And maybe the player got hurt after it. There was no intention. He was defending.
Yeah.
And that happened. That can get completely eliminated
Yeah.
because
I think we do have a tough league, to be fair. Like NPL is an aggressive league if you compare it to
Depends
A-League
on-
or elsewhere, like where it's not as many big challenges.
depends who's refereeing the game.
True.
The games change a lot. Like I look at some MPL2 games and like they're fast paced. Like there's a difference between a malicious challenge and like a strong challenge, right? If someone's going in to break someone's leg, like it's pretty well known. But like even the other week, like I know the standard of refereeing drops per league. Like I get that, but then it's also like you have the reasoning of the refs. Like you go shoulder to shoulder, he calls a foul, and he goes, "Oh, he's like that's classified as charging." And I'm like, how soft have we got? Like, we can't go shoulder to shoulder with a player. I like literally say to him, like, get the fuck in the gym. Like, seriously, like, you can't hold yourself up.
Yeah.
Like, it's so embarrassing.
Yeah, you can't be giving fouls without being
embarrassing.
stronger than him.
I think anyway, the referees, I know the referees are a little bit younger this year, which is there's going to come in more mistakes, but I think it's a consistency. I think that's it. This is only my personal. I can accept referees make mistakes, that's fine, but it's either communication or the inconsistency, like you said. So if that's happened to me in that game, like, okay, next time that happens in this game, that also better be a foul.
Yeah.
The next one isn't. You're like, what about that one?
Yeah.
The exact same thing has just happened there.
It's such a power trip. And, like, the last few weeks, like, in our experiences, like, it's just, like, softest calls. Like, you know, even last week, like, we came late out and the ref's already, like, he's pissed off about that and he's made it known. Like, 2 weeks ago, it's just, like, the standard of refereeing is, like, I don't think it's good enough and it's affecting the game, right? And it's like, leave everything aside. Like, don't come into the game like wanting to be the man, like be the boss. Like, be as equal as
I think
possible.
it depends on
like,
who you get.
There's some really good ones.
I was going to say,
and
there's some referees, when I see him come, I'm like, oh, brilliant, we've got him today.
Yeah.
And there's a few of them, but I do understand also, as you go down the leagues, you're going to get younger, less experienced refs. But I do know, from a ref perspective, to give them a wee bit of credit, is every week they get the referees on like Zoom calls, and they go through decisions and they try and improve it. But just like football, like the gaffer takes you in and shows you analysis, and you still make an arse of it. I mean, it's still like, I know gaffer, I'm trying to do that better, but I'm just not good enough. Like sometimes
I
it's gonna
got
happen.
razzled once by Kurt Ames. I remember I said to him, so you're having an absolute honker. And he goes, Robbie, if I screamed at you for all of your mistakes, trust me, I've been screaming at you more than you're screaming at me. I was like, oh shit.
I don't mind referees like having that bad as
fair.
well. It's just
Yeah,
like
no,
you said,
100%.
the ones that don't want to talk to you, and at the same time, if I'm screaming at a referee's face, they don't have to reply to me
Yeah.
if I'm being an arsehole about it.
Yeah.
If I'm going, especially the captain, ref, any chance you can explain what happens, out my face, I'm like, how can I go and follow this? Because I don't know the rules here.
Yeah.
The rules are, you're saying that shoulder tackle's a foul. I just want to make it sure that is how we're going to play the game moving forward,
Yeah.
so I know how to defend. Because if that's not going to be a foul, that's fine, I'll defend that way. Anyway,
That's literally what I got sent off for 2 weeks ago. So one of our boys come through with a challenge. Fuck, he shouldn't have gone to ground, but he got the ball. And he's come through, got the ball first, cleaned the guy up, but his back leg kind of trailed a bit. The guy ended up fracturing his fibula, to be fair.
Ooh.
But bear in mind, this guy's 40-something, so like, bit frailer. But anyway, he gets a red, but the referee says to me, he goes, that's excessive force. And I go, fuck, like that's probably the first time I've ever heard that used. And then there's a guy on a yellow from the other team, and he comes in, and on the challenge, his studs are meeting one of my boys' knees. And then I come over, I'm like, that's woeful. And then he goes, no, you need to walk away. I go, and then I said, no, I'm explaining myself that, like, you can't fucking have that over there, like, so referencing the challenge we got sent off for, and then have that when he's on a yellow and not send him off. And then he turned around. He goes, "Nah, yellow for dissent," because I'm telling him what to do. So this is Sunday League for you. So I got a yellow for dissent because I'm apparently telling him what to do. And then I turn around, and then as I've responded to her, I'm just talking about the whole situation. I said like, "Fuck, you're kidding." And because I said, "Fuck, you're kidding," I got a straight red.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's I served a week for it.
Oh, that's
Wow.
So you talk about NPL refs and stuff. You wait till you come back to Penrith Sunday League. Like, it's a bit different gravy, man.
Oh, mate. That's
But the standard's hard because, like, the first one I'm fine with. If you want to send him off for a big tackle, that's fine. But if you have a guy coming in at someone's knees, so the first tackle won the ball. It was hard. It was a big tackle, but he won the ball first, and he didn't go over the ball either. So it's not the one of those ones where you won the ball and your leg's gone over it and you've almost like taken the guy's knee in half.
Yeah, like
And then you've got a challenge where someone's legit trying to snap someone's knee in half, and he's already on a yellow,
What these
and he
guys
stays
got,
on the
mate.
field.
Sunday League, see these guys that are flying into challenges like that.
Yeah.
Man, calm the fuck down.
But do you
I
remember?
think you posted a video, didn't you? Like,
Yeah.
This like guys
Sunday's
with
like
the
a million
next
views.
day.
Yeah.
That is one of the funniest
Hank-
videos.
with
It's been sent to me
Hank
35 times already. Everyone knows I get around
But
by
do you remember last year with McGing and
Aye,
Cordier?
Forwards, yeah.
Like McGing
that
gets
was-
sent off. Got what? 16 weeks or something.
Yeah, he got a
Something
long suspension
stupid.
for that.
But is it a red?
I,
He's gone to
was
ground
a
and
game
Cord's
man,
got his leg stuck under.
Yeah, it was hard. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's
He
hard
gets
to-
16 weeks.
16 weeks.
I know that sounds like
that was an outcome red card. If that makes sense. Like, I know McGing well, and I don't think he's
not a dirty player.
Yeah, he hasn't got malice in him. He's actually a top guy.
He gets stuck in, but 16 weeks.
Bro, 16 weeks is insane.
that's
Yeah, he's never a guy who's trying to break the leg, but man, you see the outcome. It's rough on Cord. And like, if Cord is to miss a year with injury,
Yeah, it's true.
like, yeah, it's hard, man. Very hard one.
Bro, when you, like, I know it's a different sport, but the NRL suspensions that have been handed out over some serious incidences, like, so you have the racism incident last year with Spencer Leniu and Ezra Mam. That was 8 weeks. And then Ezra Mam off-field was driving on drugs, almost killed a young family and Uber driver. He got 9 weeks. And then you got McGing giving a red card, like snapping a guy's leg, and he gets 4 months, bro. That's insane. That's insane. Like,
I don't think it was that long because he came back for the semi-final. He played against the
couldn't have been
semi-final.
16
I think
weeks.
I think it was like.
Or they were
10 or
saying
something
they
like
wanted to give 16 or
I
something.
think that was the max, and then they brought
right.
it back. Or they
I was one
or
game.
something,
One
but-
game we got.
rightfully so. Play
I
on,
don't
man.
know what he got. I remember the incident, obviously. And I was speaking to Cody the other week. Their play's almost back, isn't he?
Yeah, he's back.
It's good.
I think he's back at the end of the
Good on
end
him,
of the
man.
month.
All right, okay, let's rattle through Victoria and we've got on NPL 2 and 3. So, Victoria, Avondale continued their good run of form, beating Altona Magic 4-0. That's 3 teams joint second. Oakley Cannons, Heidelberg United and Dandenong Thunder also recording wins, keeping the gap at 5 points. South Melbourne, George's tipped winners, suffered another loss at home. 2 points from the last 5 games, man. Shocker.
Oh, hold up. I'm going to defend him on that. When Sydney United almost won the cup in 2022, were they not 8th?
Yeah, they were terrible that year.
Yeah,
In the
everyone
league.
in the comments came for him when he posted that video.
Oh, but
And he posted a video saying South Melbourne
I
are
did-
likely to win the Australia Cup this year.
I did predictions like before the
That's
season
not good,
started.
isn't it?
Yeah. And then, everyone came for you like, oh, nah, they're like sitting 8th in the league. And I was like, bro, I remember Sydney United that year were bang average. And they still almost won the cup.
Oh, mate, a cup. That's a beauty of the cup,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah,
So-
you can get a good draw as well. You can play average size, and A League teams put their second 11 against you,
Yeah.
and they got Finns young boys who probably shouldn't be there. Like,
Yeah, that Brisbane game though, fuck, that was hectic.
Yeah.
When that was a massive result. But yeah, South Melbourne are
that's
weird
so
watching them. They're weird. Like I think they're just missing Sawyer more than anything.
It'll be interesting now
I
with,
don't know a ton about
with a
them.
new coach.
you saw that
So
big
who's the new
striker,
gaffer?
the
I
big-
don't know.
MacArthur.
I don't know who the new
Yeah.
coach is,
Yeah. But yeah, he's a massive boy.
Yeah, big,
huge.
yeah.
Harry, do you know who the
Sawyer.
gaffer
Yeah,
is?
Sawyer.
Is it New South Melbourne?
but yeah, who's the new
Gaffer?
coach?
Yeah, Esteban.
No, he
No,
got
he
sacked.
left.
He got sacked.
Yeah.
He got sacked, eh?
Oh, did he get sacked?
He got sacked.
Oh, I
yeah.
thought he got another job.
No, he got sacked.
So who's the new guy? I'm assuming he got sacked. I'm pretty sure it's in the social media he got sacked.
Yeah. I've seen he left, but I didn't know he like got sacked. I don't know who they've got in. I don't think they've announced it yet.
Oh, right, okay.
I don't think so either. no.
Esteban's hectic, but I love talking to him when we met him.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, bro. He's got a wealth of knowledge. Like, he comes from very experienced backgrounds.
Doesn't really fucking win a game.
Argentina and Spain.
Aye. Well, look, they're not doing too well this year, and that doesn't look like they're going to win the league, but they'll win an Australian Championship in a big club, so no doubt they'll have a good fan base with them, and they'll definitely give it a good go, I'm sure. Yeah. So, finishing off the results, Melbourne Knights lost 3-0 to Dandenong Thunder. Oakley Cannons won 3-0 against Dandenong City. Port Melbourne lost 3-1 to Hume City. Avondale won 4-0. Avondale are flying, man. Beat
Good side.
Altona Magic 4-0. St Albans Saints lost 2-1 to Green Gully. South Melbourne, as mentioned, lost 3-0 to Heidelberg United, and Melbourne victory drew 0-0 with Preston Lions. So
Preston's been weird since they beat South Melbourne, I reckon. Like every result, like they haven't really got a result.
Oh, really?
since.
Yeah, they've been drawing and stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
I actually
Avondale-
don't think they've won. I could be wrong, but I don't think they've won since they
They're
beat
newly
South Melbourne.
promoted though, so I can sort of see why they'd be, not
Yeah.
title contenders. They're just extremely well
But
followed.
talking about stacked teams, they've got a big squad.
Preston Lions.
Man, they got like 30 players.
Oh,
Have
really?
they?
Maybe more, yeah. Like, it's insane.
Romero's there.
They've got Romero. They've got that Stefan Negro, the right
Yeah,
back.
Stefan Negro, they got Leighton Brooks,
They've got like Jake Trzaskowski from Rockdale before.
Yeah, they got heaps of players, man.
They're the most prepared for
Yeah, NSD.
the NSD Championship by far.
Do you watch Victoria about NPL?
Pardon?
Do you watch much of the Victoria NPL?
Mostly Preston,
All right, okay, why Preston?
because I think they're the blueprint on how to successfully enter into this national second
In
division.
what way?
Fan engagement, community engagement, squad setup, and kind of a stable growth leading into it.
So what they do? So give us as a blueprint. What are they doing? I'm not. I actually don't know. That's why I'm curious to know.
I've never really known what they've done. I've never been down there. All I knew is like when I started SC Helos like 2 years ago, I first started doing NPL content. Some guy messaged me. He goes, "Preston Lions, like they're the best." And then Joe went down last year. Joe K. And he's like, the games are packed. Like Sydney, we don't even get like we're lucky to get 40 fans through a gate to some of the games out here. Like if we're being honest,
We had
with each other.
42 at Spirit game.
Yeah, half of it was Brady's family. But yeah, like they've just garnered the community and they constantly engage them, and you see it through socials as well. The way they do their socials for the club, perfect. They have the perfect mix of like your game updates and your usual content you expect from a football club, and then they have these creative ideas that obviously go out and reach more people. Like at least from a fan perspective, that's how I see
Well,
it.
Appy have done a better job since Joe Kane.
Yeah.
Their start. I've noticed in the last say 3 or 4 weeks. Their contents. No, who's it? Jade. Does
Jude.
it? Jade.
Jude.
Jude
No,
Dolan.
does Jade or does it Jade Giza? That guy's.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah.
Yeah.
JD.
JD, his stuff since he's got involved the
Yeah.
last 3 or 4 weeks, I've noticed a massive difference in their content. I think if more clubs done that,
Yeah.
it's a bit more because the funny thing is that a lot of clubs get good banter. I mean, as in the players are a good laugh.
yeah.
They've got the banter you can play off the culture aspect. If there's a wee bit more humour involved in it and all that, it would be well more better for the community.
Yeah.
That's just all lads who want to have a laugh and get
Yeah.
involved.
But I think that's why, like, even when Harry's doing Marconi socials last year, like, it was engaging. Like, even for me playing for an opposition club, like, I
Aye.
enjoyed watching it. You know what I mean?
Aye.
It's like other clubs just miss doing that, and it's just like you see with the Premier League clubs now, like they do like when they come into the training ground, like pre-game fits, and then they do like. I don't know, they ask some silly questions. And
Aye.
it's just like...
Get to
but
know
it's
the person a bit,
yeah,
aye.
exactly, and you
Aye.
get to know them on a deeper level, and it's like, okay, like, these guys are normal too, like, just because they're driving $1 million cars, like, they're just like us, you know what
There's
I
a
mean?
few boys in the NPL driving $1 million cars as well.
I will say about Preston though, is the thing they've done, I think, the best, at least from my perspective, is when they're versus South Melbourne and when they're versus Melbourne Knights, like the details they put out about the game and how fans have to enter the game and things like that.
What do you
They're
mean how they enter the game?
So before, they'll have a whole socials rollout where they'll collaborate with South Melbourne before the game. So they were doing collaborative posts and showing both CEOs with each other, CEOs or like directors, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
And then before the game, they put out this post of like, South Melbourne fans, you come through this gate and you leave through that gate. This is your section. This is where you'll get your food from. Preston fans, this is where you come through. This
Like a
is where you
proper
leave.
security driven
Yeah,
game.
proper
sort of
like,
thing.
and it just showed me like that. Like Preston is so ready for the national
Preparing
second
for it,
division.
yeah, to make it more
'Cause, like,
professional.
I'm not sure what it would be like with Rockdale boys, right? But like, say Rockdale and Preston, either they'll get along like best mates, or they'll like,
We actually played them in the Masso Cup final.
yeah,
And there was almost punch-ons.
Yeah,
a few of them. Yeah, like
110%.
Oganovsky is their coaching. Their coaches and our manager almost had a fight. Like it was,
Yeah.
it was pretty heated.
But yeah, so like, let's just say, for example, or say Marconi comes down and for whatever reason they hate Marconi. They are so well prepared for the national second division, especially with that police. Like, they don't really need the police involved when Preston are like, this is what we're doing. And they just present that, like, from my perspective, if you're presenting that to the police and whatnot, of like, all right, we're Preston Football Club. This is how these fans are going to enter
Yeah.
this gate.
prepared.
This is, yeah, bro. And then, like, you're watching the stream for the South Melbourne game and you're like, no club in there, bro, there's no club in the fucking A-League doing that.
What are you doing?
When they were at South Melbourne, like just all those fans packed into the corner when they
Oh,
scored,
yeah,
awesome.
and you just going like, I don't even see limbs like that in the A League anymore. Like
Yeah.
that's
Like-
just
Like, we did a video on it the other week, and it's like 9,000 at the game over 7,000
with people outside the gate as well.
Crazy.
7,000 live stream.
Yeah.
The problem, not a problem. It's not a problem. It's the wrong word, but the question and challenge comes: how do we replicate that more often? Because it's all right having that occasion once
Club
every so
needs to
often.
engage with this local community.
Yeah, okay.
The hard thing is as well, but you got like in Sydney, people don't go to watch sport.
I know, that blows my mind, man.
In
Everyone loves it.
Yeah, in Melbourne, everyone goes.
I know. It's
People go to watch Melbourne Storm. No one knows what NRL is.
Yeah.
But they'll just pack out a stadium with something to
Yeah.
do. We don't
But-
do that. Here,
yeah.
we're like, I'll
will
sit at
say-
home and get some Uber Eats.
Layout of the city in Melbourne makes so much more sense for sport.
Yeah.
Like,
But me living in Melbourne for nearly 2 years, like, it's not even a football city. It's AFL.
AFL.
Like, it's insane.
That is
Just a
AFL.
random game, MCG 100,000.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious?
I know.
but I think, for NPL, I think clubs are responsible for creating that culture.
Right,
You have
so
to have initiatives and ideas as to like, all right, how are you going to get people through the gate? So how are you going to engage the fans that are already coming and make sure they keep coming? And then the potential fans out there, how are you going to get them to support your club? And once they're supporting your club, what are you going to do to actively keep them coming back?
Yeah.
They don't think like that. Like, let's be real. Like,
So here's a question for you, because you're in that space and you did Marconi last year as well. If you were given the task to take any of the Australian Championships club to your opinion of you need more community engagement, you need to get people through the gate, because me and Chaz always say like we just want people to go to the games,
Yeah.
especially obviously I'm Scottish, but say I was Greek or Italian or something, I would rather go to a Sydney Olympic if I was Greek, rather than go and watch a busy Sydney Olympic game, bit of souvlaki, have a wee beer, watch Sydney Olympic on a Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock, then go to an
they're
A-League
playing
game.
the wrong stadium, but Sydney Olympic.
Yeah, I know there's a
never
lot of
gonna
like
pack it
say
out.
logistic things and all that, but I'd rather do that than go to an A-League game for multiple other reasons. But the problem is you go to that and there's only, as you said, 50, 60 people at the game,
Yeah.
and it sucks the life out of what could be
The
a great day
experience.
out. Even if the game's not great, it just sucks the life out of it.
makes sense.
So if you're in that position where someone gave you that role, what would you change? Like, what would you encourage clubs to be doing? 'Cause it's all right saying you need to engage your fans, but how do you do that? How do you get people to the games?
First thing, there's two prongs of it. So you ideally want to target your kind of early 20s, late teens audience, right? Like get them through the gate. They'll be active supporters. But the first thing is I think you want to go to the younger generation, because inherently if you're a 5-year-old and you're nagging your mum, or 8-year-old, 11-year-old, you're nagging your mum, I want to go to the game, your mum will go with you. So for the targeting of one person, you get 2 or 3 people coming in there with their parents or siblings. I would send out players to schools, like, and do free camps and like just free training.
Players a lot. Shut the fuck up, Harry.
But like, fuck, you want the game to grow? Or you want to stay in NPL?
I mean, I'm all for it. I'm only
like, yeah, no, but I know what they're
It's an
like. Trust me,
investment,
I
but
deal
yeah,
with
if
them.
you give out free tickets to kids and stuff, like
Yeah.
at Rockdale, we have a lion that runs on at half time. They have to chase him and get the tail off him.
Yeah.
And the kids get a prize. And that encourages the kids to keep coming down.
Yeah.
And
It's the match day experience for sure.
Yeah,
but obviously,
Wollongong
like
well
with
as
the
well.
Olympic as an experience, like, or an example, like for the national second division, they're not playing. I don't think they're playing at Belmore. They're going to Cogra. They're going to Jubilee. So already you have better pitch, better stand. Okay, how do you make the match day experience better? What do we speak about? Great culture, food, music, entertainment, all of that. We spoke about it, like ticket prices. Nothing more than $10.
Nah, I know, mate. But honestly, some of the stadiums I went to, and I'm bust out laughing. I go to the gate and tell them, I'm like, you take the fucking piss, mate. Like, come on, man. You're lucky I'm even here. I mean, it's mental. Like, just get, like, obviously, I understand they need a wee bit of revenue for whatever reason. But I'm going to buy a couple of coffees and a bit of food as well. And I've came Sunday afternoon to come watch a game.
Yeah.
The standard's not good enough to justify $20, $20
No.
odd.
I was just saying with the Greek culture, for example, like, well, I married a Greek, so I know a bit about them. Like, there's so many of those Greek dancing schools, for example, stuff like that. As if you wouldn't bring them in half time.
Yeah, that's my next point.
Have a contest, you know,
Yeah.
put them on all at the same time. Like, bring in 300 Greek kids in Greek
Yeah.
kits, doing a Zorba.
Yeah.
Why not?
But I
Bring all their parents, you know, that's 1,000 people in the game. You know what I mean?
half time.
Whatever it might be, but like people who are rich in their culture,
Yeah.
like Greeks are.
Yeah.
No, I would love to.
Smash
That's what I'm saying. So if I'm Scottish, but if I'm going, like, okay, this weekend, what I fancy doing, I'd like to go into the Olympic or the Rockdale and know instantly where I am culturally. Like,
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
I mean, I want to see
100%.
I want to see the green
100%.
flags. I want to see
Yeah.
that. I want to feel like 'cause that's what Australia's all about, in my opinion.
yeah,
it's
it's
like
more
that is that culture, like respecting it, embracing it, celebrating it. And me moving here, I've been able to get immersed in so many different cultures that I wouldn't. Even though I've travelled Europe and been amongst Europe, you get so immersed in it because you end up with mates with people and you get fed the food and you get involved in it. But you go to the grounds and you don't really get it. You don't really get it at all. It's crap.
The Greek Herald Cup last year, when we beat South Melbourne at Cogra, Like, what happens first thing? Like, one, you start the preparation good. We train the night before. Okay, it's already like getting more professional, right? If you're talking about the football standard, you have a good 2 footballing sides. You have 2 good coaches. You have good players, good playing style, entertaining football. That's entertaining for the fans, right? As soon as we got into the stadium, there was Greek dancing. They were practicing for a halftime show.
Oh, class.
So it's like straight away, good food, whatever. So it's like that needs to be replicated on a more consistent basis for me anyway.
So I've completely sabotaged you.
No,
You're
you're
giving
right.
me your blueprint now. But
And I would activate local collaborations and local businesses. So, say you have a club, say Sydney United, Edensor Park, whatever. I would be going to local businesses and just going like, what can we do for you that will bring you to our game? And in turn, we'd just like some space to like put a scarf up in your shop, something like that. And just activating local businesses everywhere. It doesn't have to be sponsorship, but going in and then...
So if you're in the Belmore area and you go to a local shop, there's like Sydney Olympic scarves and that, so you feel you're in
Pubs,
Olympic
like,
land basically.
Yeah,
Aye, okay,
pubs is like the massive one. Any drinking venue, just making sure you got scarves and stuff showing everywhere.
Yeah.
On the street, like clubs don't advertise themselves. Like if I was a club, like it sounds ballsy, but like say you're Marconi and you got one of those like, you know when you're going through Marconi, I suppose maybe you guys don't go that way, but I go via Cow Pasture Road and then you're going over the top. There's advertising space like on the billboards on the side of the road there. Fuck. If you want to get people to the game, they need to know about it. The problem is no one knows about it. Like, well, not no one, but
Unless you're following the game, like following the team on Instagram
but
or
NPL
Facebook.
is like a very core football fans. Like there's no real casuals in NPL. It's not like the A League where people drop in and drop out of it all the time. Like NPL is a very core, engaged audience. But once you engage that person, you have them.
Yep.
But you have to be proactive in engaging them. Like I went out and found the NPL. I'm from a place called Wimbledon. It's an hour and a half away from you, like halfway up the fucking mountain.
Do you still live there?
Yeah.
Do you? Eh?
Yeah. So, but like, I just think they need to activate local businesses and then collaborate with influencers, but like local artists, like local DJs, put them in your jerseys, get them wearing it to their gigs, asking them if they'd like to showcase anything off it, like your games and things like that. Activating like influencers, but you know what I mean, like people with decent followings around the audience.
Well, I think this is to NPL New South Wales as well. I think they need to collaborate with people as well, like
110%.
Because we're trying at the moment to try and do a Players Play of the Year, collaborate with NPL New South Wales. It's a really soft collaboration, but like Players Play of the Year, we'll do it if we can put it in the NPL New South Wales Awards. Like you do as you do, it's their awards night. But here's a Players Play that you don't offer. We'll facilitate it, but it's a nice soft collaboration with people who are also trying to grow, because you've got Jockey Football, we've got Champion Football, you've got all these different pockets of people trying to grow the game and engage in community. And obviously NPL New South Wales is a governing body, so their hands are tied a little bit in what they can say, how they go about things. But I think the way the world's going now, if you don't collaborate with people who are growing at a rapid rate, who actually honestly do know the people better than they know the changing room communication, they know the style of like how people talk, the way people think, what people want. But there's red tape around them, but they have to collaborate with the creators, obviously with parameters around it.
Yeah.
But I think without that happening, that's the way the world's going now. Like working with brands, working with other people. Because I think without that, it's going to continue to have all these little silos.
Yeah.
And if you keep having those silos, you're never going to get that community. There's no community.
Yeah.
Because people are like, that's better. No, that's better. I prefer this. No, that's shite. That should change as well.
Yeah.
And I think this is the tipping point we're at just now.
Yeah.
Come up to the Australian Championship. This is a point for everybody to go, right, what's the actual plan for everybody in NPL to go on the same fucking wavelength here? Because we could do something really, really cool.
Yeah.
And because the whole debate always remains of, we don't want to go back to the NSL days because of the negative sides. But we do want to go back to the NSL days because there's a lot of positive sides as well. So it's like, well, how do we get the nice balance as opposed to just going, no, we don't want that? Because let's celebrate the cultures, man. Fuck me.
100%.
That's what makes it fucking happens all over the world.
I mean,
that's where passion comes from.
Times
Of course.
have developed, but you know, like we've developed over the past 20 years. I'm sure that these clubs, if supported the way the A-League clubs are supported with all these millions of dollars that the FA give them, would succeed. And as you said, if you engage those sort of things and you're getting people behind it, man, it would absolutely flourish.
So are you doing anything personally? Obviously, you get a SEL's
No.
brand. No.
I'll
You know
just
what kind
run
of
them
clubs
own.
it?
Nah.
No.
I
Just got
like
the idea,
clubs-
just holding to yourself. Unbelievable. Scumbag.
Clubs gonna make a club.
I want to make my own club, so that's so that's probably 5 years away. But from the clubs I have spoken to, my main concern, just in general, I think the second division will work for the first year or two without them having to do much work. I think genuinely the interest
Yep.
and the curiosity
Yeah.
will get people through the gate. My concern is after maybe 2 or 3 years, I know it's so far down the track, but I feel like clubs, that they know people will come for the national second division, so they're not overly concerned about building out an actual strong and strategic marketing plan. But if you don't nail it as to how you keep the fans that come in the first year, you'll watch it just die again.
Like the Wanderers, and how they started,
Yeah.
they started their massive
RBB.
crowds, and then RBB was killing it, and then they dropped off and they left Paris Stadium. Can't get it
But
back.
as a potential obstacle, they're not necessarily for the foundation clubs who know they're in it. There's a lot of clubs who don't know they're going to be in the Australian Championship.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to prepare for something.
You mean like
so, so say Rockdale, for instance, they don't know for
the
certain.
invitational clubs?
Aye, they might be in it. There's a good chance
Yeah.
they'll be, but they don't know for certain. So how do you prepare? You can prepare in the background, but preparation for an NPL club who isn't a full-time club, it's difficult because you need to invest time, money, and if you do all that preparation, it's like, actually, you're actually at 4 months off. It's
But do you not think the plan should be, this is what we activate once we know we're in it?
I think depending on the club and depending on the finances, but not every club is going to have, like I'll just use Spirit as an example. Say
Yeah.
Spirit end up being one of those invitational clubs, right?
It's
The,
insane,
fir-
eh?
the question would be first, financially, is it viable?
Yeah.
So why would they now go, let's prepare for it? I mean, there might be some like 10 games to go, let's consider what would we do. But whereas if you're a Rockdale or a
And
Blacktown
the first
City
thing-
and you're like 8 points clear at the top of the league and it's maybe Sydney United, Apia, teams who are already below you, the chances are they're going to be, then you can start preparing a little bit more in advance. But right now it's so early, I don't think it's easy for clubs. Invitational clubs this is. The foundational clubs, yes, they 100% agree. Start engaging now because to your point, in 2 years' time, it can easily fade out, man. Very simply, it can fade out, but
Australian sports fans in general are so fickle. You have to actively engage them. Like you see in NRL and not so much AFL, but even NRL, like the crowds can go from round one if you got 50,000 people there keen for the season, and then round 7, like Brisbane have just saved, like for example, they've lost like 5 out of the 6, like they'll have 30,000 people there. So it's very much like that trend is across so much of Australian sport where it's so fickle.
Breeds it, yeah.
right, we'll just move on because we have to rattle through NPL 2 and NPL 3. So Robbie, do you want to run that through, mate? But you can just
Got the results.
we'll
there
do
for
a
me,
quick
or-
run through. We'll touch a bit on George's game because he's here, obviously.
Touch on his game last week.
Oh, I know, mate. I seen that Chaz's team. Chaz is not here as well.
Someone called Claude.
5-0.
Ask for his thoughts.
Where are we going from last Friday?
No,
You got the results there?
results are here, mate. Aye, sound. There you go. Oh, just start with Spartans because they played Northern Tigers.
So
Who
that
are
was Spartans at home lost 3-1 to Northern Tigers. Georgie, take the lead on that one.
I think we were speaking about it earlier. Like we started the game obviously coming off the back of a 5-0 loss. Okay, we won midweek in the cup, but I think the preparation was different because we came with the approach like, okay, it's going to be a battle. They're top of the table. Like we need to come out firing, and it's just like first 10-15, like we're full press, we're in their face. Like we know they're a very fit team, so we came out playing our football. Like we did some analysis last night. We're playing 12-13 passes without losing the ball. We ended up scoring an unbelievable goal the first 15 minutes, and then we conceded a shit one off a set piece, and then like we said before, heads go down, and like that's a common thing that with us this season. Like we've come back from conceding first and winning a game or coming back or drawing, whatever, but I think that once the goal goes in, like we just drop, we go from 100 back down to 0, and then a very soft penalty was given for 2-1, and then from that I think the boys' confidence just was completely diminished, and then I think we just stopped playing our football. We just went back to the old ways. And
Then Kai Denton scored again, did he?
yeah.
So how's Tigers obviously top of the league and they look fairly strong. Everyone talks positive about them. They've been in NPL 2 for a while, or
Yeah.
League 1, what we call.
Yeah.
How did you find playing them versus other teams? Did they look like this year the real deal?
I think other teams have better individual players.
Yep.
Like Tigers had good individual players, but overall they were a great team.
Yeah, okay.
And even from the get-go, they're like they concede a goal, like they're not like happy or laughing, but they're so confident that they're going to come back. And that was something I hadn't seen before. Whereas like a UNSW the week before was just like, they were just loud. They were just in our face. They came for a battle. They came for a war. And then like Tigers were just like, yeah, boys, like let's move on. Like it's all good. Like they nearly scored, to be fair, within 30 seconds, like the first 30 seconds. And then after they conceded, they just were not phased at all. and they knew they had that belief like they were going to come back. They were like, again, like super fit. Like their third goal, like they played one touch from the back and just bopped around us. Like if you look at the goal, it's just like, what could we do better?
Yeah.
Like we were in all the right positions.
Yeah.
It's just like one of those ones where you look back, you're like, shit. Like
You can lose games like that sometimes. You're like, do you know what, fair play.
Like that was a good goal, but it's just like the other two are like obviously mistakes and just sloppy ones. But yeah, like I said, they just had that cohesion that I hadn't seen before, and like obviously we haven't played SD Raiders yet, who are up there as well. But
they dropped points. I lost into Lions 2-0.
Yeah.
So right now it's Tigers and SD both on 22 points.
Yeah.
And Newcastle Jets sniffing in about third place, 20 points.
And we obviously play into Lions this week, like coming off a massive win against SD Raiders, like they'll be like
they're
confidence
another
high.
Wollongong and a Manly. They're 1 week they're
in the
hard.
Lions?
Yeah, 1 week they're nice. They're like the hardest team to
Yeah.
pick in the world.
Yeah, they got good players too.
In
So
the world,
that'll be a hard game to play away from home. So
Hey, Robbie, on you go, big man.
Yeah, so then we also had Dudley Chill drew 0 with Berries. Sounds like an exciting one, that one. Bankstown beat Mounties 2-1. Who we got here on the score sheet? Jamie Masson with a couple.
Yep.
And the Jub Boy scored for
Kishimoto,
Mounties.
Kishimoto scored.
Radomir beat MacArthur 4-1. And that's at the bottom of the table class.
MacArthur
Chasing
struggled.
Yeah, it was.
everyone.
Ahmed Talib scored a hat trick.
There
Good
you
player.
go. Ex-Marconi boy.
Yep.
Uni beat Bulls 2-0. So the young boys went down.
Chaz's goalkeeper keeping a clean sheet.
Yeah. What is so yeah, Chad's gonna stay on the bench when he gets back from Scotland.
That's a decent score. Obviously, Bulls are decent.
Talented,
Yeah,
yeah.
Bulls
they were
are like
strong.
they're fifth just now.
they were strong when we played them.
Tough, but man, like 7 point gap now between them and Northern Tigers. It's quite a lot. 7 points is a decent.
Yeah, but we've seen that league. Tigers always to round 15 are
I know,
hot,
we've
and
talked
then
about
they.
We'll see, but like
If this
everyone I
Clark
spoke
Denton
to.
keeps playing, I think they're sweet. That's what it looks like.
No, last year they missed him, didn't he?
He
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 scored.
scored like
scored.
32 goals last
How
year.
did you mark him?
Yeah,
How was he?
he was alright. Like he scored a penalty, but it's just like
How do you find him as a player? I've only ever seen his name scoring goals. I've never watched him play.
he's very quick and he makes good runs. But to be honest, we played very well. Like you look at a 3-1 loss, you're like, okay, like they got beaten, they got smashed, whatever. But it's like we actually played very good football. It was just that confidence issue, and like to be fair, like us, like we're playing back three. Us three boys at the back like locked him up pretty well. So
Is he just a battler who's come through the ranks?
I don't know who he is, to be honest.
I know, like
What's
2
his
years
name?
ago, he was a goal scorer in the league. Then he got
32,
injured last year, I think, most part.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if he was injured the whole year, but he missed quite a fair bit of it. And then he's back this year. He's scoring every week. He's young.
yeah, 2 years ago, that's right. He scored 32 goals.
Aye.
I'm surprised he hasn't gone to you guys. Like,
Well, it
I've watched
was-
Spirit pick up those players.
Conversation, I think, was there, but he got injured. And I believe, again, I don't know for certain, but I'm pretty sure the conversation was him saying he was happy to stay at Tigers.
Yeah, well.
I don't know where he lives. Maybe he's local. Maybe staying loyal to the club. Maybe no idea.
Yeah.
But and I don't even know how far the conversations were advanced. But his name is mentioned. If Tigers don't go up this year, I would be amazed if it doesn't go NPL 1.
Yeah, surely.
Amazing.
When you're popping that many goals.
What else we got?
Inter BSD, as I mentioned before, big win for Inter. And I watched a bit of that as well on the stream, and it looked like they just made it a bit ugly, locked it up.
ST at home too.
I know.
They
They're
really
going to lose
lose that.
eventually. That's the first loss, isn't it?
You know, one thing they need to eliminate from these leagues as well is like VOs. VO in the way of the camera.
Oh, bro, shocker.
I can't cop
Fuck
it, man. There's a
me.
couple of games in the week and that had
Sutherland
those.
Wollongong, bro.
Yeah.
You're like, what? I can't even see
Even-
Lockie Rose, man. Like
When
the fourth goal, it's in the way, or the third one was.
Yeah,
it was. Fuck.
even when United played Spirit at Spirit and they go
the goal?
hand across the celebration and then just the VO is like the
Yeah,
whole
I know,
screen.
yeah.
They zoom out so it becomes like clarity too. Like it's clearly a VO and nothing behind it. I was like, man,
I
you gotta-
don't understand why they put it over the other side.
Yeah, put it away from everyone. Or
We usually do. We usually do. I don't know why Sydney United we had it attached to it. For training sessions, we have it on that scaffolding pole.
Yeah.
But then
I
games-
broke at Spirits one last year, I think, with a clearance. You know, that's
First
probably
touch.
why they were trying to bring it down. Yeah,
You know what? I don't know if you've seen it, the goal I scored last year. I scored like I'm a big boy. But last game of the season, came running onto a ball from like 45 yards out and just went straight through it. I was on the right angle. It hit the top.
45 yards out.
Bro, it was fucking far.
Yeah, it was a bomb.
Yeah, it was a proper bomb.
What?
I'll show you
One
it.
of the best goals I've ever seen.
Anyway, so I put it up and like made like a whole puss gas campaign around it. Like I deserve the puss gas. but no, I did well. I took the piss. I put up a post when the puss gas nomination came out, and there was 3, including myself. But there was actually like Antonis in the A League got one. and then one other Aussie boy got one somewhere, or maybe it was a girl. But someone in Europe or Asia that was Australian as well scored like some stupid goal, kind of like Riley McGree.
Was
Like
it
just
Qual, the Scorpion?
no,
Remember from the Roos?
nah. Who was the MacArthur? Or was that this year? Piol?
Oh, it's
bicycle,
Pure. Yeah,
yeah.
for that mad bicycle.
Yeah, but I don't know if it would have been in the nomination when I did it. But I put it up, and people genuinely thought like I was in the running, like I was the first ever Sunday League person to break it. But VO does a thing where they do people's puss gas.
Right, okay.
And then they messaged me, and they were like, "Oh, we've seen your thing." Because I kept messaging them, and like, "Fuck, like, have a look at this." And they're like, "It's not filmed on a VO. Like, why would we include it?"
But you can see the VO in the camera though.
yeah, I just said put a VO tag on it. Call it a day.
Yeah, great.
Right, we've got Bonnyrigg lost 4-2 to Newcastle Jets.
Where's Bonnyrigg at? Like table wise,
They've been pretty
think
poor,
11
mate, to be honest with you.
they had a poor result in the cup a few weeks ago, eh?
Nah, that's like the lost.
Yeah.
We had on Shell Harbour.
Shell Harbour.
Yeah. We had the boys on that weekend actually.
Bloody
Now, they're sitting 11th with 11 points, like 11 points off playoffs, off the playoffs, second place. Big. They need a mental run. Tricky. But Aaron Peterson's back, who I don't think he's played as often as he would like. He's obviously a big player for them.
Mate, they have the same squad almost that won the league in NPL 1 back in 2015, and they've all just stayed and just kept going down. I don't understand how it's happened. Obviously, they're not very happy there, but they got to change something somewhere. Yeah. I don't know what the answer is.
Let's crack on with the rest of NPL 2 and 3 here.
Yeah, easy. So we've got Hills 3-3 with Makawa, and then on Tuesday night, so last night MacArthur Rams drew 2-2 with Berries.
Right, NPL 3.
Going into
The PNFC got a famous win, 1-0.
That was last night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
After a 10-0 smacking against
What the fuck happened there?
Oh, you think that's a smacking? Last year, the Hazo boys who were in our comp, they won the Nepean Cup. They got into this. You get the automatic spot in the Australia Cup if you win the Nepean Cup. We went down to Apia, and these boys are like proper, like just pissheads from the pub. But some of them are quite good. Throw-in comes in 5 minutes in from the Hazo boys.
They play against Apia.
Yeah, in the cup, and we're at Leichhardt Oval. Throw-in comes in. Apia missed the header. One of the boys just flies onto it. They're 1-0 up. They're going nuts. Apia, like, who's the coach's name again?
Franco Parisi.
Filthy. Just fucking started telling the boys like, nah, that's it. Like,
Pump them.
yeah, fucking 19-1.
yeah.
19.
Yeah.
That was wild.
Hazo boys were taking the piss out of them on the field. They're getting upset. So Hazo subbed on their keeper because I didn't know McBreen, or it wasn't McBreen, it was one of the other old A-League boys played in the Australia Cup at 53. So there's
53.
one of these. Yeah, so that's the oldest Australia Cup player. But I said to the boys, they had a goalkeeper on the bench who was 49. His name's Mickey. He's a bit of a pothead as well. He's the funniest guy. So I'm looking around. I'm not even part of the squad, by the way. I'm just there. And I was speaking to the boys at half time. I said, fuck, we should chuck Mickey on. Like, it's 12-1 or whatever. Like,
I smoked a joint just now. Wait till you finish.
I said, like, we should get Mickey on. We actually might break a record. So Mickey's the third oldest Australia Cup player of all time.
How old is he?
49.
49.
Yeah, and like halfway to 50.
How long did he play?
I think they scored. I think he came on at either 7 or 12-1. So he either conceded 7 or he conceded 12.
7 or 12 was a 3-minute gap. Right, NPL 3, rattle through that.
So we had Prospect to beat Granville 4-0.
Prospect, as we mentioned, dark horse, like
mate.
just slipped in second place, 19 points, 3 points behind Zagreb, and they've pipped Parramatta, but Parramatta do have a game in hand.
What's the ladder? Because I'm out of the loop with NPL 3.
So the ladder at the moment, Zagreb's top with 22.
Yeah.
Prospect second with 19. Parramatta third with 19, but Parramatta's only played 8, one game less. Then Hawkesbury are fourth on 17, but they've played 10 games, so more than everyone else. And it goes Granville Rage, then it gets a wee bit like samey all the way down.
Yeah. And tonight, Para play Hurstville.
Is it?
Yeah, in a catch-up game. So that's at Melita tonight, 8 o'clock.
Quality.
I'll break it down for that one, I reckon.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That'd be a good game.
Yeah. So if Melita win, they go equal first with the game in hand. Well, actually, they'll both... No, have a game in hand, yes. Yeah.
And they beat Hakora in the cup, didn't they, too?
They did,
Did you see
extra
the
time.
footage on that?
No, but
Oh,
they see the
mate.
footage.
They put it on the Instagram. They
Oh,
were down
watch it.
2-0, back to 2-all.
Looked like something as a
Every
penalty miss.
time someone did a handball on the line, red card pen, penalty saved, and then Melita scored a third and a fourth and went on to win. And they rested players too, Melita. Like, they didn't play.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, like...
I caught up in poor this year, very poor.
Yeah, it was like a wild game.
Right, go on, Robbie.
Hurstville beat Hawkesbury 3-0 away, which is a tough place to go. Bankstown drew 1-0 with Central Coast United. Bankstown is riddled with injuries at the moment. Melita 1-0 with South Coast Flame. Dunbar 0-0 with Sydney Uni. Your mates got a point. School bags on.
That's good, that's decent.
Camden Tigers 1-0 with Inner West Hawks. Fraser Park beat Glades of Right Magic 2-1. As I mentioned before, NPL got up last night against the students as well.
Okay,
So 2
Magic,
points
that's NPL 1, NPL 2 and NPL 3 rounded up. Just quick mention to some new sponsors on board supporting the show, which is obviously much appreciated. First one being Deploy, who everyone in Australian football have heard of, know of, we're involved with. They've jumped on board. As you can see, the 2 new football, the Munich ball, it's a game ball, and they've got a new training ball, and then they've got the other one called the Counter as well. So they've got three balls there if the camera catches them. So good to have them on board. And then we've also got Insure Pty Limited, who is going to be one of our major sponsors. They are a general insurance company, experts in construction, home warranty insurance, distribution and through eye care. They're the go-to team for builders and homeowners needing reliable professional cover. So big thanks to Insure for leading the way and protecting what matters most in the building industry. So brilliant to have those two on board. We've also got another couple of sponsors who are going to be involved, and if there's one more sponsorship place available, if you want to apply for that or have a chat to us, well, more than welcome to give us a DM on Instagram or send an email to info@champagnefootball.com.au. Lastly, YouTube subscribers, BN Sports giveaway this week is to Kazicle, Cazicle. So if that's your YouTube name, give us a wee DM on Instagram and we'll sort you out the annual BN Sports subscription for free. Okay, let's crack on to careers so far, or careers Puskás Award nominee. Okay, so we'll start with yourself, George. Obviously just now at Spartans, had a bit of a interesting journey to get to where you are now. So maybe just start from where you started.
Yeah, so I grew up in Canberra. So
you live in Canberra?
Yeah, I'm from Canberra. Yeah, all my family's still there. So I grew up there. Played all my junior football at my local club, and then ended up coming through the ranks of the AAS system just before it stopped. Got through the youth national teams, young Socceroos, and then actually got picked up through one of those games. We played young Socceroos against Manly, and Steve Corica was the coach of the Sydney FC youth team. Basically, that was essentially a trial without having an official trial, and then signed for Sydney FC Youth League. Went back and forth between Blacktown City, which we mentioned earlier, and then I was with the first team for a little bit, 3 or 4 years, and then ultimately made the decision that I wasn't going to crack the first team, and then I took the step back, played for Sydney Olympic, and then I'm sure everyone knows the story from there. So I went, basically straight to the Bundesliga. So Sydney Olympic and Schalke had a partnership, and then I was basically handpicked as a player to go and trial with under 23s. Spent 2 weeks over there. Well, I was supposed to spend 2 weeks on trial over there. After 3 days, I had signed with them, and then fast forward 9 months, I made my Bundesliga debut. Wish I did stay there. Don't have regret, but definitely lessons learnt. Listened to the wrong people. Took a move to Belgium. So I played for Zulte Waregem in the Belgian Pro League. Came back, found out needed heart surgery. So I had heart surgery at the age of 21. I had 2 heart surgeries in March 2020. Basically thought career was over.
Hold on, I'm just going to stop you right. You've battled through a Bundesliga appearance, an A-League contract, a Bundesliga appearance, a step in the NPL, a heart surgery in about 3 minutes there.
Yeah.
So first going from Sydney FC, right, and you said you realised you weren't going to make it. What made you realise you weren't going to make it there?
I think
game time, say, for one, but what outside of that, did you have any inclinations?
Look, I had a chat with, Graham Arnold was the coach back then. I had a chat with him in the office towards the end of my first professional year there, and he basically said to me, look, you're 5th in the pecking order. A lot of people don't know, but back then I actually had an offer from Celtic. So when Brendan Rodgers was the coach there, my old agent, Andy Bernal, who managed Tom Rogic.
So he manages someone else who Celtic signs a youngster as well. Can't remember who it was.
Leo
Bonitek.
The man that's Liam Bonitek.
Leo Marzis as well was there. So Andy Bernal was looking after me, and because I was in the process of getting my Greek passport, it made sense to see if there was any interest there. Obviously, like I said, I was youth international, so Celtic were interested. Actually offered a contract. There was problems with work permits, visas, stuff like that, to go to Scotland. So I ended up signing for Sydney FC and taking that professional deal.
Swap green and white for blue, mate. Never a good decision. It's not for Glasgow, mate.
But yeah, like I said, I had the chat with Arnie that basically after that first year I wasn't, seen in the first team plans, and I just said, and he basically said to me, he's like, look, it's a pivotal moment in your career where you can stay, like you still have another year on contract, collect your money, do what you have to do, but I don't see you playing. You either...
Who were the four in front of you?
Geordie Boyce, Wilco, Petkovic, Sasha was still there.
I think you'd rather than be honest with you about too, right? Like,
Yeah, that's right. But I think
it's
it was
not bad from Arnie.
I think it was hard.
Wilco was one of the most underrated defenders I've ever seen.
I think it was hard because he never actually gave me a shot.
Yeah.
I didn't actually make my debut for Sydney. I was on the bench multiple times, but I never actually got a chance. Even in friendlies, like I played friendlies, played good in friendlies, but never got a chance in the league. Like it's hard, like 17, 18 years old when you have like seasoned veterans, like I said, playing in front of you. So I think it wasn't until later that I kind of respected the chat, but at the same time, it's just like, well, you never gave me a chance. And then I guess not it made him look stupid, but it's just like, how do you get released by Sydney FC and then a year later you're playing in the Bundesliga?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just like
It's
just insane.
Like, situation, same thing.
Yeah, if you're not good enough for the A-League, but you can crack it in Europe, like it's yeah.
And you played? Did you go U20 under 20s Australia as well?
Yeah. So I was with the under 20s, played Asian Cup, did really well there. Dabbled a little bit with under 23s with the Olyroos while I was over in Belgium. Got selected for 1 or 2 camps there. But like we said, like game time's everything. If you're not playing, like you don't get selected. That's just how it is.
Yeah. So then, so you go. So the Schalke thing. So how did that? You said a partnership with Olympic and Schalke.
Yeah.
So what was it? Like, did Olympic just put forward player names and did they watch you, or was it? How did it go?
Basically, they had like a commercial agreement with whatever I don't even know what it was, to be honest, but they had sent a coach over here. So Karim, who was my mentor / coach back then, he was doing the youth at Sydney Olympic along with the under 20s. And the first game I played for Sydney Olympic was in the under 20s against Wollongong, and because I wasn't registered in time because I came mid-season. Anyway, I scored in the game, played really well. Straight after the game, he comes up to me, he's like, I'm going to work with you. Like, I think you have what it takes to play in Europe. And I'm thinking, like, who's this guy? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you see me play like 60 minutes. Like, what are you talking about? Anyway, next year and a half, I worked with him like literally every single day. If I wasn't working or at Sydney Olympic training, I was training with him, doing extras to prepare me. So yes, he had the link to Schalke, but it wasn't decided that I was going to Schalke. They just knew that they wanted to send me overseas because I had the Greek passport. They thought like that was the path for me. And it wasn't until a month before I left for Germany that it was decided that I was going to Schalke. So it's like right place, right time kind of thing. The under 23 centre back had a knee injury. And they're like, all right, we want to look at George. Went over there, did well, and literally never lost my spot. So it's just like, it was just like combination of perfect timing, hard work. Sometimes like the classic saying, it's like, it's who you know, not what you know.
Oh yeah, of course, mate. That's part and parcel of almost any career, isn't it?
Yeah.
Almost. So you're arriving in Germany.
Yeah.
Didn't speak German when you arrived, I assumed. How did you find that, not speaking a language?
Massive cultural difference. I think the boys like just took the piss out of me because they didn't realise
It's probably worth explaining to Schalke, despite being a huge Bundesliga clubs, in a bit of a shithole, eh?
Yeah.
But Schalke, the place is a bit shithole.
Yeah, it's tiny, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so Gelsenkirchen, the city, got voted the worst city in Germany. So it's an old mining
Was that
town.
as soon as you arrived?
Yeah. this guy got off the plane and just got voted the worst city. No, it was so Schalke and Dortmund, like they're old mining towns. So they had a lot of immigrants, a lot of Turkish immigrants, like low socioeconomic area. So it wasn't the nicest place to live, but at the end of the day, you're over there for football. You don't.
Yeah, of course.
You don't give a shit where you live. Like I was living.
Especially at that level.
I was living in a little shoebox on under 23's contract. All I cared about was playing football. That's it. Like I was very locked in at that point. but yeah, it's just like, yeah, it was a crazy experience, and like going over there and the boys treating you like as the foreigner, like it's like shit happened at the start. Like they were sending me to the wrong training pitch.
But for banter?
Yeah, just for banner, just as initiation. So like, you know how at clubs you do an initiation song?
Aye.
We didn't do that, but their initiation for me was
Send your own place.
dinner time's wrong,
Aye.
training day's wrong. Like on your day off, they're telling you the training's on, but it's not. So you rock up to the club, you're like, what the fuck am I doing here? You know what I mean? So it's just
How
like...
long did that go on for?
And, hey?
How long did that go on for? Couple of years.
So it was initiation.
Honestly,
Didn't train 1 week for 2 years.
it probably happened for like a week or two.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until, I guess, they saw, like, I let my football do the talking, right? So, like, I can give it back to them, whatever. But, like, most of the boys, like, they would not speak to me in English. Even though at school, they all are taught English. Like, that they know English very well, right? And they're all young boys, like, they're on social media and stuff. But it wasn't until, like, I basically had signed and got the respect of them playing-wise, and the coaches respected me and, like,
Hey, I'm the light,
basically, I went over there. I was like the prodigal son. Like
Right.
they were like, "Who's this kid who can hit a like left foot, can hit a diag, can get out for corners, can shoot, can score, whatever?" Like they were like they'd never seen it before because a typical German centre back doesn't do that, right? So like I was something very different to what they had seen, and it was very valuable to the system at the time that the under-23s coach wanted to play. And then, of course, they start talking English. Then I start German lessons. So it was just like chucking into the deep end, like different food, like driving on the other side of the road, like just small things. But like I guess they made a big difference.
So in terms of your performances when you're there, you came in fairly confident in yourself, obviously, and sounds like the players backed you by what you said. So how did you got in match day squads, which suggests you were doing well?
Yeah.
So how long in total were you there for? A year? 2 years?
Yeah, yeah.
A year, and then you said you made some decisions that you kind of regret, don't regret, whatever. But what led you to leaving Schalke?
I think during my time there, I went on a very fast incline. Like I had gone from playing under 23s like all season to start doubling training with the first team to then playing friendlies against them.
Sorry to interrupt. Who was their main players at that time? Or who's the main man at Schalke?
Amin Harit.
Yeah.
Nabil Bentaleb.
Oh, Taha, is that?
Who else was there? Weston McKennie.
Oh, hi. Is he still playing Weston McKennie?
Yeah, he's at Juventus.
He's still at Juventus, I knew.
Yeah, I'm good friends with him. So he's
Tell us how you doing.
He mentored me a bit and helped me a lot. Like he was obviously there for a few years before.
What's his name from Spurs back in the day? Stambouli?
Yeah, Benjamin Stambouli, centre back.
Was Naldo there?
Naldo was there.
Who?
Naldo.
Oh, right, okay.
Tall centre back, big Brazilian boy. Yeah, we had some unbelievable players like Ralph Fehrman, the keeper.
Feldman. Yeah, I remember. He was good.
Yeah, he was very,
good.
very, very, very
And
good.
so you made who did you play your debut against?
Stuttgart.
Oh, decent. And when did you find out you were in the squad?
The morning of.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did it just kept you guessing, or was it like, oh, he's injured, now you're in?
I think so. I was in the match day like 6 weeks leading up to it. Like I was always on the bench. Like I sat on the bench against Leverkusen, Frankfurt, Dortmund game. So it was like you felt like it was coming, but it was getting towards like the last game or two, and you're like, oh shit, like I'm not gonna get my chance. And it was a funny story. So Matej Nasic was the other centre back, and he came to me in the last week, and he goes to me like. Basically, like he had a niggling like hamstring injury, but he goes to me like, I really want you to play. Like he mentored me like crazy, like every passing drill, every possession drill, like he would get me in the gym with him, like everything. Like he was like a big brother to me. And he pulled me aside. He's like, I'm gonna like
basically fake it a bit.
Yeah. And like, so you can play.
Oh, what a guy.
Yeah. It was, crazy. And obviously in the week leading up, like he started the week of training, like whatever, and then he pulled out. They chucked me in. I did really well in training, but I still think they were like undecided because at the time it was between like basically us and Stuttgart to go into the relegation kind of zone. And it's weird how they structure things in Germany. Like I'm not so used to it when I played in the A-League, but even if it's a home game, you all stay in the hotel together, right? So it's like 2 minutes from the stadium, but you still stay together. Like we stay together, watch a movie all together. Next morning, wake up, go
German
for a walk.
movie or English movie?
Hey?
German movie?
No, we watched English movie. We watched Class of 92 actually.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we watched Class of 92 before my Bundesliga debut, yeah. So that J'd me up a little bit. But yeah, morning off, go for a walk. Coach literally walks beside me, puts his arm around me, and he basically said, "Son, like you're starting this afternoon," and it was just like that. Like that's how it all unfolded. Oh man, yeah. But it's funny. Like a lot of people say, like how nervous were you? And I'm just like, I was definitely nervous, but it was just like more excitement. And like, to be honest with you, as soon as I went out for the warm-up, like all nerves gone. Like literally, as soon as I touched the ball in the warm-up, started passing to or whatever, it was gone.
So it's just football again, innit? It becomes football.
But it's like, you prepare your whole life for this, right? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, there's 65,000 people in the stadium. I didn't hear nothing. I did not hear a thing. The first time I heard something was in the first half. I did a really good challenge slide. Ball went out. That's when I first heard something. Like, fans are clapping for me. What the fuck? Like, 65,000 people. Like, it was just...
What was the score in the game?
0-0.
No. Clean sheet?
0-0, clean sheet.
Play full 90?
Hey?
Play full 90?
Full 90, yeah.
Oh, quality.
5 minutes in, had a broken toe.
Oh, really?
No way.
Mario Gomez.
Mario Gomez.
Stepped on my big toe.
Intentionally?
Yep.
Yeah.
So he was holding me off, basically. He backed into me, stood on me, turned around, and he said in German, like, viel Spaß. So it means, like, have fun. So it's like, he basically said, like, have fun with that. So I go in at halftime. I say to the doc, please give me some drugs. Like, I need, like... And I took off my boot. And I was just like, it was a bit swollen, whatever. And he's like, oh, come on. Like, and I'm thinking, like, Bundesliga debut. I'm not going off, like, no matter my foot's broken, like, nothing.
Nah, yeah, 100%.
Anyway, and he gave me, like, some Panadol or whatever.
Give you a Frankfurter.
Hey?
Are you Frankfurter? Get that down, you son.
Hey, but I think the adrenaline definitely took over because, like, you sit down, like, your body cools down, whatever. You go out for second half, like, I couldn't run. But somehow you just find a way to push through. And then the second half, I actually played better than what I did. Like, the nerves were definitely gone and came off after the game, took my actual sock off, and it was, like, black, like.
No, but at the same time, as you're saying, the Australia thing, like, okay, but if you're trying to achieve a dream, I miss my Norman's cooking, I miss the beach, that's like, oh mate, do you miss that, or do you want to be on the training ground every single day? Because at the end of the day, that's where the best football is. It's in Europe, so it's a trade-off, and I think every player who wants to be a football player would swap their Norman's cooking and their beach for that. Most people would, but some people don't. There's loads of Aussies who go over. Again, I know quite a few who've been over, had one trial somewhere, got rejected, and go like, nah, I'm just going to go back. Yeah. It's like, what? You've been knocked back once from the countless teams you go. Like, I'm not going over there. It's only €2,000 a month, and I'm like, mate, you're getting a full-time contract in the Turkish second division or whatever it might be. But you have a couple of good seasons.
You're doing what you love, but
doing what you love. You're getting paid a wage. And you climb your way up the ladder. You could be playing fucking Europa League, or somebody can scout you and you can bounce around. You might not be playing for Man City or Chelsea or whoever it might be, but you could, if you play a couple of years in Turkey, then you're in Sweden. What a career! Yeah. Play 15 years of football, earn a living, doing what you love, and then you've still got your whole life ahead of you. Yeah. Well, mate, best of luck to you, and hopefully, I know a good fitness coach if you need one, mate. Big man. Yeah. SC Helos. When I knew you were coming on this show, a lot of people reached out to me saying, looking forward to hear from you. So, how did it all start, FC Helos?
SC Helos.
Sorry, not FC Helos.
So originally, like, it's kind of a long story, but I had a brand called Helos, and I had like a podcast and all that, and I started SC Helos.
What does Helos mean?
It's just telos is like ultimate aim or purpose in Greek mythology. I'm not even Greek. I've just seen it. Fuck, that word's hectic. And then H is my name, like Harry.
Yeah.
And then, SC Helos started as like this sports, like content kind of, and some of it did really well, but the thing that did best is I started this TikTok Sunday League series. So before and after every game in 2023, I would just talk shit. Like the one that went viral was, like I feel like I'm about to have a Michael Jordan flu game. I'm not sick, I'm just fat and overweight and tired. And people just thought it was the funniest thing ever. I thought it was the shittest joke. But put it on TikTok and it did like 350K within a day or two. And then it got to the point where I'd always watch SE Dons. And I thought, you know what? Like, as long as I can get 2 cameramen, I'll do everything else behind the scenes. Like, I'll just go balls to the wall. And
do you do this full time?
Half and half. So I have like a media business. So like there'll be something where I manage George's socials. Yeah. And then I have SC Helos. So it's kind of...
Is it a studio as well? Is that right? A podcast studio?
I don't know in that studio. But 27 Project, I'm a part of it.
Yeah, I've seen it before. Yeah.
So I work out of there. And yeah, so we got 2 cameras, and then we just got so lucky. So we did the first game, 500 views on YouTube, like fuck all clicks on socials. first game against Werro, one of the clips hit 50k. So to explain it to you, there's 2 Werro teams in our comp last year. Warrington is Warrington, Croatia, the only ethnic club in my competition. Everyone else is just Aussie like clubs, but Warrington, Croatia. So they had 2 teams. One is like borderline, like a few former NPL 1 boys and some like really high level players. They would beat us 6 or 8-0. That day they beat us 8-4. But I put up a clip of like, you know, that, and it did 50k. So I'm like, all right, we're on to something here. Round 2, we verse our local rival Springwood. Fuck Springwood, we don't like them. So we beat them in the last minute, and none of the clips did particularly well. And then that game, I did all the ligaments in my ankle. Like no one was around me. Fuck, I was on the ground. So the ball's in the middle of the field. The ball's bounced, and I've gone up for it and like poked it over this kid. But the kid's still like a metre away from me, and then my ankle has landed in the ditch because the football field's not what you guys are on. Like. So my ankle's, because you know when you're like on steps and say the step is a bit further down than what you expect, and your body's expecting your foot to land somewhere, then you overextend. Yeah. The exact same thing, and then my whole foot's just gone under my whole body at like 130 kilos. Did my ligament, so I'm out for round 3, and Warrington, Croatia, the shit one rocks up. And they're my boys, trust me. But they rock up, and then that's the clip that basically everyone sees. It does 6 million. It does a million.
6 million?
So it did 1 million in 24 hours. The YouTube episode did 130k.
I'm just checking it up just now, something like that.
And then, so the clip did like 2 to 4 million on each platform.
Is it the one with Hancock?
It's just
so
everyone's
Hancock
axing each other.
Yeah.
Just constant axing. It was unbelievable. A couple of push and shoves, argy-bargies.
Hancock, he's left the club. Unfortunately, he's at Bathurst 75 now. But yeah, he's a redhead, and he just doesn't back down. Like fuck, he's like that in pub fights. Like he'll just fucking have a crack.
So when you got that, however many million, did that things when you realise that here we go, we've got something?
Oh yeah, like fuck, like fish on. Like I'm on here. Like I've just got to bring it in now. And then I just kept the same structure I'd already implemented, and just tried to improve it throughout the season. And then I think we finished off the year with 40 million views on Instagram.
Fucking hell, 40 million?
Yeah, and something like 10 million on TikTok. YouTube's like, it was less than 1 million. It was around 800,000. But if you know YouTube, like that 800,000 is there for 10 minutes. They're not there for 10 seconds.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So you're taking that as like an insane amount. And then in the midst of that as well, I was just going to NPL games, and I was just taking photos of like cultural stuff rather than like, you have Damo, right, who goes to the games and he does the player photos. I don't have the camera for that, so I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go capture fans in the old jerseys. I'm gonna go capture like the canteens and stuff like that. And people love that content. They still do to this day. Some of my best posts are me at NPL games, and then we just kind of filtered that through all the way. And that's kind of where it just kicked off out of nowhere, to be honest. And fucking, I was like, you know what, fish on. Fish is still on. So fucking, I'm enjoying it.
So, for you now, obviously you said you're at media business. So for SC Helos, you play for the team?
Yeah. Captain coach.
And
Undefeated.
Demo does a recording?
No. I'm just saying for like NPL. You have like Damo's formal content, and then the.
So who does the recording for the SC Helos?
2 of my mates.
So that's it. So you just go about the game as normal, and they record live what's happening as normal.
Yeah. So like, there's a structure to it. Like I lay out a structure for them due to my media background. But
unlike this podcast, we just fucking fucking random.
But yeah, there's a general structure. It's like what happened. We've added a GoPro into the mix this year as well, which is pretty hectic. But
there's a spot in NPL 3, you know. If you guys get your NPL license, mate, SC Helos could be.
And also,
I don't know if
start from the bottom and come up.
Let me, but
get in there.
I've said a few things.
I don't want to slide.
You should see as you're doing the recording, you should put a veil right next to the camera, so it's always in sight. So you've got like, obviously Helos has become a bit of your brand because you've got Helos and Homies. Is that right?
Yeah, I used to.
You used to have Helos and Homies.
I stopped that a year ago.
Right. Okay.
So SC Helos took off. So average YouTube episode, I think people kind of get confused because they think it probably takes like a few hours. It takes me around 25 hours to complete from start to finish.
The episodes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
because you're going through game footage on 3 cameras.
Yeah.
You can sync it up, but it still doesn't like... Different
25
cameras
hours per episode?
Yeah, different. And then, so the hardest part is you have to watch it back continuously to add your little edits in. But then what you're doing is you're adjusting the audio in each clip because you're watching it through going, all right, this is what I'm going to say here in the commentary and here in the commentary. And then I'm going to leave the raw audio in from this one because Hancock yells out, you're a fucking idiot. Yeah. And then the next clip, I've got to leave enough fat for me to talk about that and then talk about whatever highlights playing in that clip later on.
Right, okay.
So it's very much like...
It's time intensive, isn't it, man?
By the time the episode goes out, I think, fuck me, like, I'm done with it. Like, I just...
And then the next week you're like, and you go again?
Yeah, go again straight away on the Monday.
Oh, that's fucking... That's...
Try and do 2 to 3 hours a day of it.
So right now, from the Helos standpoint, is that the sole... You've got the media company.
Yeah.
Is Helos your sole thing?
SC Helos, yeah. So I've got Helos Collective, which is like a business that doesn't show face, which is just like things like handling George's socials and shooting for George. And then I have SC Helos, which is the one thing that shows face. But SC Helos is where I want it to be. So I want my own football club.
Yep.
Within the next 5 years, and the Sydney United model of having an NPL team and Sunday League teams under the same name, something I'm definitely striving for.
What would you call the NPL team?
So you have to have a location in it for any football club in the country after the NSL era. Like you had to, hence why Sydney Croatia. Or no, Sydney Croatia is a bad example. But some of those Greek teams, they were called like something Hellenic instead of
okay.
That's why they're Sydney Olympic now, things like that. So location-wise, it'll be either based around Penrith or Western Sydney. Blue Mountains isn't really the place for it, and there's no.
Don't go there. Away game in Blue Mountains.
Oh, that's where I live. Home of the Brave.
It's stinking.
Home of the Brown Snake. But yeah, so to be I already know where I want it. Like I know where I want it.
Brown Snake.
Is it?
And then the goal by then as well is to be the most followed club, the most followed non-A-League club in Australia and New Zealand. So we're currently 19th, including the A-League clubs. So we're the 19th most followed side. So you have the 13 A-League clubs. Then you have, like, this is social media numbers. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. South Melbourne, Preston, Auckland City, which obviously is a huge one, like the actual Auckland City. Petone FC in New Zealand. And there's another one. Oh, fuck, who is it?
Sydney United. Would they be followed?
They did. Oh, actually, they're probably below us because they don't have a TikTok. But yeah, on Instagram, they beat us.
That's mental, isn't it? They don't have a TikTok, so...
Yeah, but they should, man. I tell them all the time. But yeah, so yeah, Sydney United would be the other one, right? So...
Could you not have it? Could you not have a... Because you're in football. Could you not have a media business... Or you've got a media business, but could you not have, like, staff who just all work for NPL clubs? Do you know what I mean? It's like... Because NPL clubs all need...
Yeah, but... Yeah. I want to work with the NPL, but there's people at NPL clubs that are getting certain amount of people to games that think what they're doing is working. But like you'd know, like you'd all know, like they.
You can always do more. I think is what you're trying to say.
But like that, bro, like that, what they're doing is just clearly not fucking working.
But
like you walk into a game and there's
nothing.
Bro, honestly, like if we're being honest with each other, there's some NPL 1 games in this city that you walk into and you'd be lucky there's 10 to 20 fans in there. So they don't know a player and they aren't someone's
they're not a relative.
Friend or family. Like you'd be lucky if they're there to watch the football.
Fair point.
Whereas Victoria's different. Like they're killing it. But yeah, I have thought about that. But like, you know what, I'm here. You can always come talk to me, but none of them really do. So I just kind of... Sydney United, I have a really good relationship with. That's why I go to all the games. But even like Sydney's socials guys, he still works his full-time job. So that's not a matter of like, I'd feel guilty to be like, oh, ask them for money. Whereas I'd rather work in collaboration with them, come up with cool ideas where it's not about money. It's like, right, what can we do that's going to actually push the culture forward?
I think every club should have a staff member who does all the content because it's easy content. The players give you the fucking content.
Yeah.
Because you've just got 20 lads, 24 lads who banter, and if it's a female squad, the women who are doing it, banter in the changing room, questions, get to know them, like get them coming out their car, like they'll say stupid shit. There'll be the guy who's funny, the guy who's daft. They get the story's top, and then if they're doing well, you've got a wee storyline going there as well. It's fucking easy content. The content takes care of itself.
But did you see that? Did you see that clip of Radomir with Abbas that went viral?
I know.
Like he's just swearing.
I know it's well known.
But it's just
people are hammering him for it. Like, have you ever been in a senior change room?
What men's teams not have a coach who swears? I mean, fuck off, man. But again, that to me is good from your perspective because it's from content. That's just someone recording a 30-minute session, taking some clips and be like, oh, that'll be controversial. There's a man swearing at a men's football ground.
Bomb emoji.
Bomb emoji. That's everyone going tonto over it. But look, I think that's where the game's going. I think that's where the world is. content. If you're not
Social
doing the
media.
content game, you're missing a huge opportunity to promote your players, to promote your club, get sponsorships.
Yeah.
Like again, it's a massive sponsorship deal for clubs. They all want sponsors. They need sponsors, and it's like, oh, we can get better players. Well, what do you bring to the table? We've got 2 million people on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, and we do this. That's what clubs want. People want exposure, especially if your audience is footballers.
Yeah. I will say for me, like, part of SC Helos this year is, like, we had that footballing event. And the other thing is, like, I've had sponsors reach out, and then I had this other idea of, like, ownership. Like, there's power in ownership. So I'm doing things pretty differently, but there's a lot of risk in it. It could fuck me up as well. But, like, we've got scarves and jerseys coming in and big, like, jackets coming in, which will sell. And then on top of that, we're going to do our own beer. And that's kind of, like, the idea is, like, yeah, like, you smirk there, like, it's like, fuck, like, it's good work or it could go astray.
No, it'd be bad.
But
SC Helos beer and their champagne lemonade seltzer, mate.
Yeah. But you want to, like, you don't want to rely on... I feel like I want to tell that to NPL clubs as well. Like, you have to come up with other ideas where you're taking the risk, but then you're getting all that money that's coming in. Like, you're not relying on someone to come in with the money and then also probably have a bit of, like, power in what goes on at the club, you know, like some of these sponsors. So I think it's the same thing applies. But I'm also getting the scarves as well because I'm going to visit all the boys in Europe.
Obviously, when they put them all in the pubs.
Yeah, so I'm going to get Jed's playing at Hartberg, which is like Austria. Marcus is at PSV, going to see the SC Dons boys. Who else is there?
Nesta.
Who?
Nestori.
Nesta Janus?
No.
I'd only
Kunda.
see Aaron Kunda through Marcus. So that's if Marcus tees it up. And then
What about Triantis? No, at Hibs?
I could through Flea because he's Flea's godson. And then who was the other one? Fuck. Oh, Jimmy Paneras, who's at Athens second team, but he's an actual Blacks and Redback.
Yep.
So bit of goss. Jed Drew is not an actual, like, we market him as he's a Blacks and Redback because he's from Blaxland. He's never played for Blacks and Redbacks, Jed Drew. Never did.
What an absolute scam after all that promotion.
But Jimmy Paneras, this kid who went from Redbacks, ended up at Victory somehow, and now he's at Athens. He's the only Redback to play in Europe ever. So yeah, we're going to visit him and do scarf swaps. But in doing so, and the Besiktas Ultras. So my local kebab shop, they're Besiktas Ultras. They're retired. But I've got the connect over there. Shout out Turkish to go. Shout out Turkish to go. You should see their RAV4s, bro. They're parked out the front. The RAV4s, they do all their deliveries in just Besiktas scarves and stickers everywhere.
Turkish fans don't mess about,
they're proper. Like,
they don't mess about, mate.
Like, people will joke to them about, like, Fenerbahce and shit. Like, they'll full just, like, drop the persona of, like, being a happy boss man and just, like, start working, put their head down. Like, they don't want to talk about Fenerbahce and Galatasaray. Like, they hate them.
I do, yeah. So
but yeah,
that's good. Love and breathe it.
Going overseas and we'll swap scarves with them. It'd just be cool. Like,
oh, mate, what experience, mate? What, again, for yourself, fair play. You're building a life through football, mate. Fucking absolutely superb. And you're trying to promote football as well locally.
Yeah.
So fair play to you. Look, we're just going to crack on because this has been on a wee bit longer than we. Obviously, 2 good stories. So just quickly, Chaz always asks this question to every guest. I've got one movie to watch and you get one snack to eat it. What would the movie be and what would the snack be?
what do you got?
One movie and one snack.
Oh, Goal and Mars Pods.
Goal?
Yeah.
Would you? Aye. Classic.
But I want to go back to the first time I ever watched Goal.
Right, okay. So you wouldn't watch it again? Just for the first time?
Yeah, I just want to watch it for the first time. I don't want to watch it again because I remember the first time I watched it. It just completely enthralled me, eh?
Oh, okay. And Mars Pods?
Yeah.
Pods, aye. Chaz loved them as well.
And a Pepsi Max.
Oh, calm down, mate. We've got a budget for that.
I keep it simple. Popcorn with Interstellar.
Oh, aye. Decent.
Hans
Decent.
Zimmer.
What would you choose, Robbie?
Rush Hour 2.
Rush Hour 2?
And Margarita
Not the
pizza.
first one, second?
Second one's the best one. Even the third one's quality too, but number 2.
How much you eat?
Pizza. Margarita. Plain
Margarita.
simple. Wood-fired. Decent.
And then, probably the last question, or more so for you, probably, George, the most difficult player you played against? I'm sure some cracking players in Sunday League.
I've got one for you. Brady Smith.
Oh, I don't say that, mate. That's getting edited. I
went to school with Brady.
He mentioned it last night, actually. He mentioned it last night. What do you call it? We had them. We had the Bonarig boys on 2 weeks ago, and Brady actually helped me get them on. His mates for him, and I'm like, at training, I'm like, mate, what about you? Eh? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, the boys were telling me about you. He's like, what about me? And I'm like, I'll wait till the episode comes out and you hear. He's like, No, guys, seriously, what did he say? And I'm like, just wait, mate, calm down, mate. You need to wait 12 hours and the episode will go live. So, like, 20 minutes into the session, he's like, guys, come on. What are they saying? I'm like, mate, I'm just waiting. And on went up to big Jamie Perchevsky, I'm like, go up to Brady and say, oh, aye, mate, heard about you. So then Jamie goes up to him, starts noising on again. And then I get home that night, I tell him, like, mate, there's fucking nothing. Didn't even mention you the whole podcast. I'm paranoid. Brilliant, man. So who was the guy you said? You said Brady.
Yeah.
I could play it before. Probably he's about to oust you massively here.
Mario Gomez.
I've had a lot, but the hardest probably Marcus Rashford.
Rashford, aye.
Yeah, nearly broke my shoulder.
He was good this morning. Fucking.
Aye, was I? What a game that was, aye. Brilliant. Okay, so predictions. We finish off every game with predictions. NPL, win, lose or draw. There's 12 games, 4 from each division.
Do I win something if I get them all right?
You win a bottle of champagne if you get them all right, which has never happened before. So fair play if you do it, but at the end of the year, whatever your score is a little league table to see what everyone ends up with. Last week, I got 8 out of 12. Fucking decent, by the way.
That's unreal.
That's not bad, to be fair. Claude's got 4. Fucking expert pundit. Embarrassing.
Wow.
He blew all of a budget last week with Claude, ended up with Robbie Speranza this week. But Claude's got 4. Vedran got 5, and Nizic got 5 as well. So right, we'll just go this way around, right? So George, so Manly versus Apia at Manly.
Apia win.
Yeah.
Yep, same.
Apia win.
I wanna go the same. Robbie?
I'm going to
Draw. Sweet. Sutherland versus St George FA. So Penshurst, St George.
St George win.
Sutherland.
Oh, new
The
stadium.
new ground, man.
Yeah, I saw that. Aye. You said?
St George. They're due for a win.
I'm going to go draw. Okay, Mount Druitt versus Blacktown City.
Blacktown City win.
Mountie.
Wow.
Home of the Brave. They're coming home strong.
I thought...
Blacktown 4-0.
Oh, you don't get any bonus points for that, mate, unfortunately. It's Blacktown.
Harry's going to get the lowest fucking scoring this week.
Right.
In the season.
Blacktown. Okay, St George FC. That's Bays St George.
Oh, that's the name of them. They're not the same.
I've
They're the Bays.
got St George Sparky and St George Bay.
You know what? I still sometimes get confused when
mate.
people are talking
Really?
about it, mate.
Aye,
All the time.
All the time. That's it. Bay couldn't believe it either. I went through this the last time and he's like, I don't understand it. I don't know why.
FC are the Green Sox.
Yeah, bro.
Right, we've been through this a few times. We're never going to get it. So we've just got St George Sparky, St George Bay. So this is Bay. St George FC versus Sydney United at St George.
Draw.
Yeah, draw.
St George.
Shit.
The vibes are high.
Actually, no, I'm going Sydney United. Sydney United
Wow.
win the
You're going
first.
all upsets, huh?
Yeah.
I'm going to go... they've been playing since Saints have been playing so well, but I just feel like Sydney United need to... I'm going to go Sydney United. I just feel like they need to win at some point. It'll be a tough game, but man, St George Saints looking very good just now. Right, Tigers versus Bonnyrigg.
Tigers.
Yep.
Bonnyrigg.
This guy, he's doing it on purpose now.
That's unbelievable. Okay, Tigers for sure.
I'll go Tigers playing well.
They're due for a win, aren't they, Bonnyrigg?
They are,
Charles
Tigers are
Mendy,
strong,
mate.
man. Tigers are top of the league, like, going strong.
Charles Mendy's an X Factor, but for Bonnyrigg.
He's an X Factor.
Charles Mendy? Like he's rapid, man.
Oh, I thought he's on X Factor for the show. House versus Bankstown.
Which Bankstown?
Oh, Chaz just screwed me right up
The
here.
City Lions, surely.
Yeah, I
I
saw
was calling berries,
Bankstown.
wouldn't you call them berries?
I just wrote Bankstown, so we're just going to Bankstown City.
Bankstown.
Wait, who was it versus who?
House,
Oh, Bankstown.
Robbie?
Draw.
God, they were shit in the NPL one last
I'm
year.
going to go draw as well. I'm not too sure. Berries versus Riley. I wrote Berries, aye. Berries versus Riley.
Draw.
Berries.
Right on me.
I'm going to go Berries. Right, okay, 5 games to go. Bulls versus Dulwich Hill.
Bulls.
Bulls.
Draw.
Bulls, draw. Okay, Hurstville Zagreb versus Bankstown.
Oh, that's a good one. Is that Bankstown Lions?
No, Bankstown
Bankstown
United.
Oh, no. Yeah. Fuck,
Zagreb.
Zagreb,
Yeah,
yeah.
Zagreb.
Draw.
It's over there. That's
What a
a
draws,
sign, eh?
Robbie.
Yeah, back it.
Don't mind it. I'm going to go Zagreb. Okay, Stanmore versus Dunbar, last 3.
Dunbar.
Stanmore.
Stanmore.
I'm going to say Dunbar because one of the boys had a trial there once.
Good intel.
Just one time.
Right, okay, last 2. Nepean versus Central Coast.
Nepean.
And mate, there was no point in me. I'd half typed yours in. Right,
Nepean.
George, Nepean as well.
Yeah.
Central Coast.
I'm going to go draw. Last one. Granville Rage versus Sydney Uni.
Sydney Uni.
Going for their first one in the season.
Aren't they shit?
They beat us in pre-season.
Oh, Sydney Uni. Go them.
Well,
I don't think I've got a single draw in there. Or maybe two.
You don't know.
I'll go Rage.
Rage. I want Rage as well.
Rage.
Right, boys. Thank you so much for your time. I know you're both busy men, so I appreciate it.
Oh,
Thanks a
you
lot,
very
lads.
much.
Cheers.
I've got a question for you before we start.
There you go.
Championship.
Australian Championship.
Yeah,
Aye.
like NSD. Who do you think, if we're to go off the foundation clubs, don't worry about the invitational clubs, but off the
Don't want to fucking hell, man. Snob.
off the foundation clubs, who do you think would be, out of the ones currently picked, who do you think will do the best in the national second division? I'm not saying they have to win it, but just who would do
Just
the
in New
best?
South Wales.
No. Like,
Including Preston and...
yeah.
Hard for me to comment too much on Victoria, mate. I don't know enough. This is the first year I've really paid a lot of attention to Victoria. So I can't comment. I mean, Avondale on for the results and what I see look very strong, but I can't comment on them. It'd be hard. So I'll have to go off New South Wales clubs. For who's in it, I will say the only question I've got, and maybe one of you can tell me, how much transfer movement's allowed between NPL and can you get a full new club?
Sure.
Do you not know?
Not sure.
What was that?
I feel
How
like
much
it's a bit of
transfer can
a. I
happen
feel like
between-
it's a bit of a grey area.
So
No
like,
one's
so
really
the
answered
NPL
it.
season finishes. Like,
Yeah.
can they completely dismantle a squad and bring a full new squad in, or does it have to be this? Like, is there limitations?
Like technically, someone go from NPL 3 to NSD.
I don't know. Like, can they just go like 5 NPL players when they're gone released? And I know it's new contracts,
Or
but
loans even? Like, would they be able to loan
I
players
don't
for
know.
them?
So
I think they will from the A-League.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how that works. I'm gonna go right. Going off of who's involved and blah blah blah. Who've we got? Sydney United, but I'm gonna think Appy will do well.
Yeah?
Yep.
They're going to struggle without Timber.
Yeah, I know, but they can bring somebody in.
I don't think to his level. I reckon he's like one of the best.
But if they get an A-League guy on loan,
True.
that's my point.
Yeah, transfers. Yeah, it's hard to
If there's
predict
no
that.
transfers,
Yeah, if you're
changes
looking
things
at
completely.
like overall squad and like how
Yeah.
they set themselves up, I think RP do well with media. They do with everything.
George Timotheou.
And I think Appia. I'm just thinking like they're scoring lots of goals.
Yeah.
They'll be entertaining to watch. Like it, honestly, mate, it's a complete fucking flip.
Yeah.
You can look at NPL doing this now. It's so hard to pick a game, man. It's impossible. They could all do well. They could all do poor. I don't know what the team's going to like. They could play under 23s. They could change things. I hope I'm going to be like a bit of a state of origin thing here, where I want all the New South Wales teams to do well.
Yeah.
Which will be fun as well, because I want to see, like, if they play a Melbourne team, I want to be cheering for the New South Wales. So
Yeah.
I've got no affiliation to anyone other than Spirit, so I'm hoping that obviously Spirit's in it even better.
Yeah.
But that would be my take, which is a shite answer.
Yeah.
Happy with that?
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Okay. Cheers, done. Sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, good exercise, man. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
What's that guy's name you said? The gaffer was the wank.
Oh, Danny.